NASCAR Winston Cup points. There you see the storyline there. 110 points. Jeff Gordon back to Mark Martin. 155 behind is Dale Jarrett. Those three will settle it among themselves over the course of the final 3 races of 1997. Down on the pit lane, final pre-race preparations are taking place. Track drying is wrapping up, and Glenn Jarrett is there watching it all unfold.
And I'm standing beside of the points leader right now, Jeff Gordon. He will go off in 6th position today in the DuPont Chevrolet. And Jeff, I talked with Ray a little early this morning. He said the things you guys concentrated on, making this car adjustable, get it so you can fix it either way.
Well, and that's especially going to come into effect today because with the rain that washed all the rubber off the track, this track is going to change drastically, especially in the first 100 laps. So, you know, we're going to try to make it adjustable. We're going to have to live with it for a little while and see which way it goes, and hopefully we'll make the right decisions at the end.
Well, we hope that's true for you. Best of luck to you out there today. The car that he's in today is not the race that he, or not the car that he won the race with here back in the spring. Last time they ran this car was at Bristol. It crashed there. They certainly hope that's not the case today. Here's Matt Yoakum.
Glenn, the pursuers, Mark Martin and Dale Jarrett, closing in on Jeff Gordon. But the dark horse Jarrett has been the most productive driver over the past 6 races. He starts second, but the guy back here in third, Mark Martin, is only 110 markers behind Gordon. Mark, you've had a lot of success here in the 90s, the second best driver at the Rock. Can you keep that momentum alive today?
Like to. The Valvoline team's done a great job this year setting these cars up and getting them ready, and we're just going to see what happens. The track's going to be, I don't know what it's going to be. You know, we'll have to go to it and try to adjust to it and see what we got.
The 89 winner knows his title chances sit between a rock and a hard place. Steve Burns?
Matt, Bobby Labonte is the man on the pole. He's strapping in right now. Now, here's an amazing stat. 29 Winston Cup races, 18 of which have been won by Ford, 11 by Chevrolet. Bobby, can you break that Pontiac drought today?
Man, you know, if you look at the record, Kyle Petty's won a lot of races here, and Ward Burton's done it in the Pontiac, so it's a good racetrack for him. So maybe we can be the one to break that streak today. But we just got to do the best we can in the Interstate Pontiac and hope for the best and stay out of trouble.
All right, best of luck. And Eli, 3 Pontiacs in the top 5 this afternoon.
So just another one of the stories we'll be talking about as the afternoon continues. Welcome to North Carolina Motor Speedway in the better late than never department. I'm Eli Gold, joined by Dr. Dick Berggren and Buddy Baker. And Buddy, we heard it from Jeff Gordon. We heard it from Mark Martin. We don't know what the track's going to be like, and that's got to be a heck of a way to begin a race.
Well, I can tell you one thing you can count on. The racetrack has been washed down, as Jeff Gordon said. What that means is all the oil's washed off the racetrack, all the rubber's washed out of the racetrack. It makes it very abrasive. The tire wear will really be extreme the first 100 miles. Then you start adjusting for later on in the race. Very key to winning here.
And that brings us to strategy, Dick Berggren. The crew chiefs, on a day like today in particular, really earning their keep.
Yeah, they really will, Eli. And part of the reason is this racetrack just eats tires alive. The cars slow down the further they get into the event. The driver's job is really to try to keep that at a minimum, try to take care of his tires as best he can. But there are going to be a lot of pit stops today, probably some under green, and that's going to put extra pressure on the crews.
Now, the weather is warm. It is humid. There still are a few rain showers in the area, but hopefully they won't be a factor. We're closing in on the command to fire engines. The ACDelco 400 from the Rock is next. CNN Motorsports live coverage of the ACDelco 400 is being brought to you by Texaco, a world of energy. By the more than 1,750 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. By Miller Lite, who reminds you that anything can happen at Miller time. And by Goodyear, #1 in tires. Welcome back, everybody. We are live at the North Carolina Motor Speedway in Rockingham, the start of the ACDelco 400, probably another 10 minutes or so away after a rain delay of nearly 24 hours. Those of you who have been enjoying Dallas, we know we have kind of left you in mid-episode. Dallas will be shown again in its entirety at 4 o'clock Eastern time this afternoon. So shortly after our race wraps up, you'll be seeing Dallas again in its entirety. So we apologize for the short offering this morning. Let's take a look at the starting grid for you for today's ACDelco 400. Third pole of 1997 for Bobby Labonte and Dale Jarrett. 3 consecutive second-place finishes here. Mark Martin won here on Saturday in the NASCAR Busch Series race. There's Ward Burton, whose only Winston Cup win was here in his Pontiac. And then Kyle Petty, he'll be starting in the inside of row number 4. There he is in his Pontiac with 3 wins here at the Rock. And as we see the other qualifiers, Dick Berggren, you've got to say all those Pontiacs, that's what we talked about at the very beginning, so strong at this racetrack.
Yeah, they really are. They've got 9 wins in the last 19 starts here. They could be very strong today. They've got more spoiler. The nose is a little closer to the ground than everybody else. Could be a Pontiac day.
You just saw Dick Trickle. He turns 56 today. There's Ricky Rudd, last year's winner, alongside Derek Cope there in row number 7. David Green led his only NASCAR Winston Cup lap in his first start here. And there's Chad Little, his best qualifying effort in his 6th visit to this racetrack. Michael Waltrip and Rusty Wallace. And Buddy Baker, Rusty has more wins here than any other active driver. He could be a story from mid-pack.
I think so. He's had a little bit of a drought this year, if you want to call it that. For Rusty, it's a drought, but the team's there, the driver's there, and the car is certainly there, so you can never count him out.
On further back, there you see row number 13, Kenny Wallace and Dale Earnhardt. 56 races now without a win. Robert Presley, his 6th start in the number 77 machine. And Bobby Hamilton, who moves on from Petty Enterprises when this year is done. Jeff Green, Lake Speed. There in row number 15, Morgan Shepherd. And Steve Park, is this an easy track for a newcomer, Buddy Baker, like Steve Park, or a tough track?
Well, anybody but Steve Park, I'd say yes, but he adapts so quickly because of the various types of race cars that he's driven. I'll give him a good shot today.
Steve Grissom and Kenny Schrader in row number 19. Kenny was 4th at Talladega. Ernie Irvin, 4th in last year's race here, and Jimmy Spencer, who was 10th a season ago. First provisional start of the season for John Andretti. Greg Sachs, his 250th career NASCAR Winston Cup start today. And Darrell Waltrip, shotgun on the field, his 50th start in Winston Cup racing here at the Rock. We're inside of 2 minutes away from firing the engines. The spotters are in place atop the grandstand tower. Glad you're with us. We're back in a moment. The command has just been given to fire the engines, and the aerial shots you'll be seeing today are courtesy of Durashine Advanced Auto Polish. Just wipe it on and hose it off. Durashine, now available at Pep Boys, Western Auto, Kmart, and Target Auto stores. Well, the fans have come back. About 80-85% of capacity here today, and many more still trying to make their way in. Now the AutoZone race analysis brought to you by the more than 1,725 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. There you see the numbers. 197 laps will be halfway today, though the weatherman says we'll be able to go the distance. Hopefully, the weatherman knows his business as we get set for the 65th race ever here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway. Buddy, let's talk about the racetrack with the Ford track description. An easy oval, a tough oval, how would you categorize it?
Okay, first thing you got to look at the difference in the 2 corners. One's a little bit more banked. The front straightaway is certainly different from the back straightaway. You have a dog leg on the front straightaway. Coming out of turn 2, that is definitely a place that you have to be careful. That has gotten more drivers in trouble than any place on the racetrack. Coming off of 4, a lot of things happen. As you can see, with the straightaways are even banked 8 degrees here. So if you get in trouble on the straightaway, you hit the outside wall into the inside wall.
That first race here at the track, the Peach Blossom 500. Today, it's the ACDelco 400. Glad you've come back to the track, and glad you've come back to TNN to join us. The green flag in a moment. There's a good look at the North Carolina Motor Speedway in Rockingham, and bit by bit the grandstands are filling. Normally on Mondays you'll see a big crowd come back right off the get-go, but it was raining heavily until mid-morning here today, and a lot of the folks took their time. Now when it's starting to clear up, they have all made their way to the racetrack, and I'm sure within the next few moments every seat will again be filled. There's NASCAR official Jimmy Cox with the indication keep yourselves in line as you pull off onto the racetrack. Glenn, everybody, I dare say, is relieved. If nothing else, we're finally going racing.
Yeah, that includes everybody down in the pit area. These guys wanted to get this done so they could get on to Phoenix. You know, I want to expand a little bit on what Buddy and Dick were saying earlier on about tire wear. It is critical, particularly early. Look behind me here in Bobby Labonte's pit. They got 7 sets of tires mounted up. There's a new set on the car, and there's another set along pit road. What the crew chiefs are telling the drivers right now, early on when that racetrack is green, it's going to feel good. Do not overdrive the car. Do not get in the corners too hard, because you will be able to, but it will grind the rubber off those tires. Talked to Larry McReynolds this morning. He said he really had to keep pounding that point home to Dale Earnhardt, because Dale likes to get in the corners so hard here. They got to take care of them early on so they can get a true reading on what the car is doing.
And Glenn, Mike Beam echoed those sentiments. He is Bill Elliott's crew chief. It's been a good weekend for Bill Elliott. He qualified 8th, and their team won the annual Unical Pit Crew Championship. But Mike Beam said the same thing. He's worried about the tire wear, telling Bill to take it easy. They're very apprehensive about the pace early in the race. Now let's check in with Matt Yocum.
The biggest hindrance today for Ernie Irvan could be he has to pit on the backstretch. The same place he pitted back in the spring. He had a car that probably could have gone to victory lane, but every time he pitted in 1st or 2nd, he came out 10th or 11th. They're pitting back there today. This is the same car that he ran at Loudon, started 43rd and went all the way to the front.
Of course, for the record, our former broadcasting partner, the late Neil Bonnet, won an event here from the back pitch, starting 30th back in 1988. So it's tough to do, but it's not without precedent.
Yeah, and he's the only one to do it. It's definitely harder starting out back. There are 30 teams that will start up front. The other teams, 13 of them, are going to start in the back, and that is determined whether you start in the front or the back by qualifying speed.
Eli, one thing, coming in the pits on the front straightaway, you have a better entrance than you do on the back straightaway. You're in turn 1, and you have to get down on the back side, and the car wants to wash out towards the outside wall, so it's very difficult getting in on the back straightaway. As you can see, they start down through the front straightaway. They have all this to work with there going in pit road, but on the back straightaway, it's very, very tight.
The teams will be getting the 2 to go signal now as they cross the start-finish line. Those who are not here today, the fellows who failed to qualify, Ed Berrier, Kenny Irwin didn't make it, nor did Brett Bodine. And for the 12th time this year, hate to see Dave Marcus not on board for the start of today's ACDelco 400. Taking a look at the onboard cameras that we'll have for you, Morgan Shepherd, who has run here many, many times and has run well here at The Rock. He'll be taking us through the field. Mark Martin, very much a part of that NASCAR Winston Cup Series Point Championship. He'll be giving us a ride around in the Valvoline Ford. Rick Mast, starting midfield, will be riding shotgun with the Remington team. There's Kenny Wallace. He starts 25th today, and we'll be riding with him. Bill Elliott, as you heard earlier, winning the Unical World Championship Pit Crew competition the other day. And the man who has more points on super speedways this year than anyone, Jeff Burton, starting 11th, will ride with the Exide Batteries Ford.
Youngest driver in the field today, Jeff Gordon. He drives car number 24. Oldest driver in today's race, Morgan Shepherd, at age 56.
Tied today by Dick Trickle, who celebrates his 56th birthday today. His crew chief, Tom Baldwin Jr., has a birthday today, and there's all sorts of birthdays going on down there in Junie's pit.
It's definitely party time. It'll be party time for Rusty Wallace if he can win today. Nobody has won more races than he has of the drivers in today's event. He's won 5 times here.
Well, you can see Ford there. They're leading in points, and they've already closed out the manufacturer's championship. We have 20 Fords in the field today, 15 Chevrolets, and 8 Pontiacs.
So there you have all the numbers that you could possibly want. And finally, about 23.5 hours behind original schedule, we are set to go racing live here on TNN Motorsports. We'll be with you next week in the Valley of the Sun. We'll have the race from Phoenix, so we'll be taking you down the stretch here towards the crowning of the NASCAR Winston Cup Series champion.
Eli, Bobby Labonte is a very big favorite today, and for the reason he's been second in the past 2 races. Look for him to really go today. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see him win.
We are about set to go. It is a heavy overcast afternoon. There is still rain in the area.
They're coming out of 4.
But right now,
to drizzle.
we are about set to go green.
Ready, 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 green,
Green is in the air, and we are going racing in the ACDelco 400, 400 miles, 393 laps.
Well, as they come down, you see Dale Jarrett has already taken care of leading one lap here. That's 5 bonus points for him as they head off into turn 1. He gets that 5 points, and that's very important. Mark Martin there in third would love to get up there and take that lead and get himself 5 points.
Everybody's scrambling here. The number 7 is Jeff Bodine there, the QVC colors. Inside of the DuPont machine, we have got rain. We have rain on the speedway, and here comes the caution flag. 1 lap in the books, now 2, and Dale Jarrett is at the stripe with the lead, but we have rain. We have rain 2 laps into the ACDelco 400. Now, the radar seems to show this as nothing more than a little green blip on the screen, we are told. So hopefully this will be a very short period of caution. Watch what happens here to Jeff Gordon. We just saw some smoke come up. Wow, he tagged the wall.
Pretty hard there coming out of turn 2. That's the one spot I told you about. And what that can do, that can actually knock the rear end over in the car a little bit and create a problem later on. Hopefully he does not have a tire rub there.
Green tires, cold tires.
You can see the right rear there, Eli. You can see the concrete dust on the wheel itself.
No body damage, but he definitely hit it with that right rear wheel, didn't he?
Yes, he did. You know, during the live call there, you saw some smoke come up, and you weren't quite sure at the moment what it was, but the look on the replay shows that he did scrub the wall. There is rain all around the speedway right now. It had been just isolated over in turn number 3, but now the teams, even the pace car, is reporting rain all around the speedway, and umbrellas are popping up. The rain slickers are again being put on by the fans who have waited some 23.5 hours for this race to start.
And this is not supposed to be. If you looked at weather radar this morning, it certainly appeared as if we were going to get this thing in without any problems at all. The sky looked really good just before the start. Everything was pretty dry, but
a lot of this stuff is so fine that it doesn't get picked up on a radar, I am told, but it obviously is more than enough to affect a treadless tire carrying a 3,400-pound high-speed machine.
Eli, the real important thing, we're going to look at the 24 of Jeff Gordon as he comes off turn 2 over there. You can see him get into the wall on the replay.
Let's see. Bill Elliott was right around there. He has one of our cameras. Let's watch and see what happens.
Oh, that was little more than just a scrub.
Yeah.
That was a pretty hard lick.
So there's Jeff Gordon working under the caution. We'll have to wait and see exactly how, if at all, that impacts the resumption of the race for him. Here's how the fellas have done that are battling for the championship in the last 6 races. Average finish, you see, Jarrett, the best of the lot. Then Gordon averaging a 9th place finish, and Mark Martin averaging a 13th. Those the Richmond and Talladega finishes there for Mark Martin, the bugaboos for that Valvoline team. Glenn, what's the deal with Ray Evernham? What's Jeff Gordon telling him?
Well, they're talking right now, and Ray, you had a chance to look at it on the screen on the replay there. Do you know anything yet?
No, I guess we won't know until we get going. It doesn't look like it hit real hard. You know, it doesn't look like anything's rubbing. That's the main concern. Just got to hope that nothing's bent, nothing's rubbing.
Well, like I said, we're going to take another look at it here, and it's from another angle there. But I guess racetrack, just a little slick, that rain coming down sure didn't help things.
No, I haven't asked him what exactly what happened yet, but we'll see. You know, he just might have got up there a little bit. I hope, like I said, it didn't look like it hit pretty square. So, you know, he hit it a lot harder than that at Darlington. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, and we know what happened at Darlington. He won $1 million.
So that's the story down on the pit lane. The report from the racetrack itself is that the track itself is dry. but there is so much mist, as you see right there from our aerial cameras and so on, that they are concerned about visibility for the drivers.
Eli, really it's not that much concern as long as they can stay out there and keep some heat in the racetrack. With these race cars are only 4.5 inches off the ground, so you have your header pipes that run right under the cars. It'll keep the surface pretty well dry as long as they stay under caution.
Well, we are staying under caution for a while, so why don't we take care of some business. Dale Jarrett is the race leader. Picks up those 5 bonus points right off the bat here at Rockingham. Winnebago Industries, the official motorhome of TNN. Stop by your local Winnebago or Itasca dealer now and see the new models available. For more information on the Winnebago Motorsports team, please call 1-800-643-4892, extension 2. Today's broadcast is sponsored in part by Featherlight Trailers, the official trailers of NASCAR, CART, IRL, and a major sponsor of the NHRA. Remember to call Featherlight for all of your trailer needs at 800-800-1230 or 319-547-6000. Commercial transportation for today's broadcast has been provided by Ryder, the official transportation company of Opryland. There you see the tarpaulins that are covering all of the pit boxes and the high-powered dryers that the teams now place, I guess, Glenn, to further keep the temperatures up and to keep that pit box dry.
Well, absolutely, Eli, and the main thing is so when the cars come in for a pit stop, they can stop, but probably more important, so they can get traction when they leave the pits. It's awfully tough because these guys pop the clutch and take off out of here with the tires spinning, and you don't want that on wet surface. So the very first thing that any of them did was, as soon as that rain started, man, they covered pit road with all these tarps.
That's the update on pit lane. Don't forget, for those of you who are tuning in to see Dallas, the Dallas episode, normally airing at this time, has been preempted now because of live coverage of the rain-delayed ACDelco 400. Dallas will be seen in its entirety at 4 o'clock Eastern Time this afternoon, right here on the Nashville Network. While we've got time during track drying, guys, let's take a look at what's happening for 1998. And buddy, a lot of changes.
Well, that'd make a pretty good starting lineup for a race somewhere. But Bobby Hamilton will be driving the number 4 that Sterling Marlin's driving next year. That ought to be a good combination. Sometimes you need to change just because you need to change. Things are not working.
Sterling Marlin and Tony Glover reuniting under the Sabco label next year. There you see some of the other changes. John Andretti there right now with Cale Yarborough. They're sponsor hunting. Of course, there's a lot of talk going on about what happens next year. Would Richard Petty maybe take John Andretti as a driver? Should Cale Yarborough not come up with a sponsor? What about it, Richard?
No. I mean, that's how simple it is. I'll tell you when I get everything squared away, I'll let you know what's going on. Right now, we're just in limbo. In fact, I've threatened that I might drive the thing, so that'll probably bring some of the drivers out of the woods when I do that.
Well, before you would go that far for you to get back in the car, you do know that I'm still available.
Yeah, we was just talking about that. Between me and you, I think we better go find another driver, okay?
But again, he did not say no to John Andretti. He just was no in general terms. He was non-committal, and we'll all find out together. One would assume within the next short while. They've run well, as you see the field getting the 2-to-go signal. But Glenn, you know, Richard's team is doing all right. The Cale Yarborough team has done all right, but without a sponsor, that kind of leaves Cale and John Andretti kind of hanging out to dry.
Oh, it definitely does, and it's a shame that Cale hasn't been able to put anything together. And you were right to clarify that. He wasn't saying no to John, but in case you missed it, he definitely said no to me.
Some crew chiefs are going to be jumping around as well. Ricky Craven's car is looking for a crew chief. They're looking outside the organization to help fill that spot. And there are some others that are going to jump back and forth. Tommy Baldwin Jr. is going to stick with the number 90 car. Dick Trickle, I guess they're going to enjoy their birthday party today and stay together for 1998.
So that's some of the silly season talk as we look ahead towards 1998. The field getting the 1-to-go signal. Right now, Dale Jarrett leading the event, as he has been since the get-go, Matt Yoakum. And if nothing else, he's gotten his bonus points so far.
He already picked up those 5 bonus points for leading. Todd has told him, look, if you can stay out front in our pace, let's just reel off laps, because last time we were here, we led the most laps, but failed to get the win. We finished second. He's finished second here the past 3 times. DJ's car today, the same car he dominated with here back in the spring, black in Decker, because it cuts through the field, but it has yet to cut a path to victory lane.
Dale Jarrett this year has completed 8,739 of the 8,792 laps. That's remarkable to not run only 60 laps of the entire season as we get set to work here in race number 30 of the year.
Eli, they're coming down for the green flag. You can see them wiggling back and forth, putting some heat in these tires, getting ready, trying to get the optimum grip as they go into turn 1.
Ready.
Still a lot of heavy overcast. The rain has stopped. We're back to work. Lap number 14. Dale Jarrett leads. Back to turn 1.
Gordon right upstairs again.
Remember, we've not seen the car run for Jeff Gordon since he tagged the wall there on lap number 2. We'll keep an eye on that. Riding with Mark Martin in third.
Groove is on the bottom right now. We can expect to see it move around during the course of today's event. On Saturday, they had a Busch Grand National race here, and upstairs was the fastest line for quite a while.
You can see Jeff Gordon there using that higher line there, trying to get by Bill Elliott as they go down the back straightaway. And there is 2 grooves here. And you can see right now the grip's pretty good. Bill moves up just a little bit. Jeff Gordon drops in behind him.
That upstairs line is a good place to take good care of your tires. You don't have to cut the car. Here goes the lead change.
Bobby Labonte works the low side of the racetrack to grab the top spot away from Dale Jarrett. So at lap number 15, a swap for the lead here at the Rock.
Running upstairs, you don't have to cut the car as hard when you go into the corner, and you can come off a little bit smoother as well, so that saves the tires.
And Jeff Bodine there in the 7 almost had a wall in his face, buddy.
Okay, the good part is you can see that Bodine is dropping back a little bit. The good part is the 24 there, Jeff Gordon, does not have a tire rub. He's not smoking at all, so his impact on the wall on the back straightaway did not hurt the car in that respect.
That move there, though, for the 97 Chad Little, the green and yellow machine, he'll take 12th, and that puts Jeff Bodine back in 13th, and he's going to have some more problems there. Watch what happened to the number 7.
He and Ricky Craven are right together. They touch just a little bit. You can see Jeff in the 7 car there get just a little bit loose. And when you lose momentum like that, it looks like something goes wrong with the car.
But Jeff stays in 12th. For a moment, it looked like the number 10 of Ricky Rudd was going to bypass him, the winner of a year ago. But not so the case. The 31, Mike Skinner, right behind. Good gnarling group of race cars there. Look at the 3 wide there. Good battle. That's for 17th spot. Michael Waltrip in the Citgo colors. David Green in the Cat car. The Skittles on the outside. That was Derek Cope. And we were riding with Rick Mast.
See Rusty Wallace in the 2 car there on the outside of the new paint job that Nemechek has on the 42. As they go through the corner there, it looks like Nemechek's just a little bit quicker off the corner.
All of that middle of the field. 15th on back. Earnhardt there at the very right of your screen. Just might have gotten a quick look at him. He's back of that pack in 28th position. There's the number 3, a 3-time winner here, Dale Earnhardt. Started 26th, so he's dropped back a couple of spots. A lot of 3 wide racing, like we saw here on Saturday.
3 wide to get 2 wide in a hurry when they get close to the corner. You can see them kind of check up and get back in line. At least 2 wide you can make it 3 wide. There's a question.
Nemechek in the 42 machine. Jeremy Mayfield behind him in the 37. That's 19th, 20th, 21st spot.
This racetrack has really come in after a repave several years ago. They can conveniently run side by side here and extremely close. Great race here on Saturday. There were a lot of opportunities to watch people running side by side. The front 4 were side by side lap after lap in that one.
Again, you can go through the turns hard here, but you got to be careful of getting off the corner without it pushing and getting into the wall or using up the tires.
Well, the biggest thing to remember, all these cars are running very, very hard right now. But in about 10 laps from now, the newness of the tire goes away and the grip starts to go away also. The racetrack gets a little more rubber in it, and you're going to see a lot more sideways in the corner racing too.
23 laps are complete of 393. Just tuning in, yes, we are live after a delay of nearly 24 hours due to rain here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway.
I'm watching Dale Earnhardt take care of his tires just behind this group here. He's passed about 10 cars in the last 2-3 laps. It's really hard when a car, like I said, they're getting great traction right now, and it's hard for a driver like Dale Earnhardt to hold back.
And that's a lot of taking care of the tires. Ask both the crew chiefs and ask the drivers as well, what's the most important ingredient in taking care of those tires? And they will all tell you that it is the driver. But in the garage, if they get these cars set up with springs that are a little bit softer, put a little bit more shock to it, that will allow the car to run better when the tires wear a little bit. So some of the guys who don't look quite as good in the early laps will come on more strong when the tires start to wear down.
And remember what we heard from Glenn Jarrett earlier. Larry McReynolds, Earnhardt's crew chief, said, I'm trying to convince him to be conservative in the early going, take care of the tires, mind the race car. There you see a gaggle of machines right there. Lake Speed in the 9, Sterling in the 4.
Oh!
Close quarters racing. That was Grissom in the 41 and Rusty in the 2. And they're all going to catch their breath. That's back at 29th position. And they both just about took each other out.
Look at Ernie Irvin there in the 28. He's moving up very rapidly. He did the same thing in New Hampshire. Started in the back of the field, worked his way to the front very quickly. He's on a move right now.
He's on a mission. That was the slowest car in qualifying of all that took time, and Ernie managed to get into the field. He's pitting on the backstretch, but he's running, as always. Ernie Irvin heading to the front.
He's in 33rd right now. Looking back towards Terry Labonte,
whose brother continues to lead this thing.
There you see the spread. Bobby Labonte in that green Interstate car. There's second place, Dale Jarrett, with Mark Martin wanting a piece of that spot.
That's second and third right there, but just behind him is Kyle Petty, and we know he knows how to get around this racetrack. He's won here many times, and the Pontiacs right now are beginning to move up just like everybody expected before the race started.
Bobby Labonte is the race leader here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway in Rockingham. We are 29 laps being worked right now. We're coming right back. TNN Motorsports live coverage of the ACDelco 400 is being brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. At Napa, we keep America running. And by Wendy's new fresh stuffed pitas. If you haven't tried one, you will. By 1 9/10 seconds, there is your race leader, Bobby Labonte. He's pulled away from Mark Martin by that margin of nearly 2 seconds. That's what it looks like on the racetrack from first back to second. Martin and Kyle Petty there, having both bypassed. Now Jeff Burton, who's running in 4th. Dale Jarrett 5th. Ward Burton in 6th. Bill Elliott 7th. Ricky Craven is 8th. Birthday boy Dick Trickle is 9th. And Jeff Gordon now running 10th. Chad Little, you see him right there, the John Deere colors, back ear line there, the 97, right behind Jeff Gordon. There he is. He has moved all the way up now to the 11th spot from starting 16th. Good solid run here in the early going for Chad.
Great run, and he said when he did the race here Saturday, he said, I learned a lot about this racetrack sitting up here looking at the guys as they got into long runs. He said, I think I've learned something that'll help me. I'm not saying that's doing it all, but it certainly looked well.
8th place is the battle between Trickle in the 90 and Craven in the 25. Let's see, now how many decades separate those two guys?
Come on, guys.
About 3 decades in a car lane.
Yeah, Craven's 27, so
it's 29 years.
Yeah, if Trickle was a rooster, you wouldn't want him. He'd be a little too tough, but he's tough on the racetrack, too.
Good one. Here's second place we're watching now. Kyle Petty is in the 44. Mark Martin, the number 6, as they swap around positions here. This obviously not a surprise because Kyle Petty has always run so very well here at this racetrack.
He's got a smooth line at this place. He doesn't charge the corners. He goes in nice and smooth and easy, and it's really worked well for him here at Rockingham. 5 poles, 3 wins.
You could see it right there in the in-car camera. Mark Martin closed in 5 car lengths getting in the corner. By the time he got in the corner, guess who was going off? Petty was already back in the throttle before he ever got off.
This is 9th place, trying to swap around right here. Gordon keeping it down low, and there's what's opening the door. Craven has been slipping up the banking just a bit, but he has the power to pull him on the straights.
And he runs high here consistently, just like Dover. Remember the race at Dover when Ricky Craven ran higher than everybody else? He tried that same kind of line here Saturday in the Grand National race. For a while, he was all by himself, and then one after another of the drivers saw that he had some speed, and they followed the same kind of line, and everybody picked up when they did so.
There's 20th spot now. Earnhardt has it. Derek Cope in 21st. Jeremy Mayfield, the 37, right behind. And you see again the haves and the have-nots as far as handling right now.
Well, the computer's having a hard time keeping up with Ernie Irvin right now. He's dicing through these people, I mean, as fast as he possibly can. This 28 car, look how well he's running up out of the corner here. He backed off a little bit. He got a little loose there coming out of the corner. But boy, is he moving up through traffic.
He's 25th now, Ernie Irvin is, from starting 39. Meanwhile, remember we showed you this combination. We showed you that group of cars before, and Rusty Wallace was in the mix there. And Rusty is now all the way back in 39th ahead of Gary Bradbury there in 40th. Steve Burns, what's the deal?
Exactly, Eli. He started 18th all the way back to 39th. I just spoke to crew chief Robin Pemberton, and he said they are loose in all 4 corners of the racetrack. A loose race car is not easy to handle. He's going to have to hang on until they can make adjustments on their first pit stop.
But again, Rusty has 5 wins here, 8 top 5s, 13 top 10s, and 27 visits. So he knows what it takes to run well here if they can get her dialed in.
Let's just talk real quick about loose while we watch this great race down the back straightaway between Ernie Irvin and Derek Cope as they go into turn 3. Loose is where the back of the car is. You really can't get enough grip with it, and the back is trying to come around all the time. And instead of turning left to go in the corner, you're turning right to keep the car straight. So it's a very uncomfortable thing for a race car driver to do.
That's 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th on your screen right now. Ernie Irvin, Derek Cope, the 37, Jeremy Mayfield, the 5, Terry Labonte, the 4, Sterling Marlin. Also closer to the front, there you have Ward Burton in 7th and Ricky Craven in 8th. Jeff Gordon now coming into the picture in 9th, and Trickle right there, the 90 in 10th.
Gordon's using a lot of racetrack right now. The key to him beating Dale Jarrett earlier in the year was changing his line at this racetrack. And he'll look for a place that 24 will run the best, and he'll change all day long. You see very high in the corner there. Watch the drive. He gets off the corner on the back straightaway here.
One other little stunt that they pulled here in February that helped them win the race recall is they did not start out with the fastest car, but all day long, every time they went into the pits, Ray Evernham and the Rainbow Warriors put the wrench on that car, got the tire pressures right, and eventually they got adjusted in.
The point you got to remember, though, is one particular car stayed right on the white line on the bottom of the racetrack. That Gordon car was from the top to the middle to the bottom all day long, and he found a place that was quick.
That's what racing dirt tracks will do. Run around, search, try the high line, try the low line. Gordon's done plenty of that.
See Michael Waltrip there. He's already in the Harry Gant lane, which is about 3 or 4 inches off the wall. They're using a lot of the racetrack right now, and the main reason they can do that, there's no debris on the outside of this racetrack. It's been washed down.
There is your race leader by now 1 7/10 seconds. So Kyle Petty in second now, taking 2/10 of a second off the lead that Bobby Labonte enjoys. Still early here at the Rock. Personal source for all things country, and if you have any questions about NASCAR racing, we'll get those questions answered for you by our racing experts. They'll be posting their responses to your emails daily. Just check out the Motorsports Racing News section of country.com, your personal source for all things country.
You could just see Jeff pass Jeff then. Jeff Gordon got by Jeff Burton. That's him leading the group up there. See Bobby Hamilton there and Ricky Rudd as they go through the corner.
You see 41 cars remaining on the lead lap. The leader is Bobby Labonte, having just gone around Gary Bradbury and Kenny Wallace. There you see the interval from the first three. Bobby Labonte in that green machine, then Kyle Petty and Dale Jarrett. Let's go to the pits.
Well, guys, I'm down in Bobby Labonte's pit. Sorry for the delay there. I was talking to one of the crew guys, and Bobby has reported to crew chief Jimmy Lakar the car is just a little bit loose. That's one reason he's able to run so fast. The car is just a little loose. It's real free. We're talking about lowering the track bar on the first pit stop. We're trying to snug him up just a little bit. The interesting thing is we're looking at lap times. He started off at the beginning of the race when he took the lead, 24.80 seconds. Now the last lap time, 26.75, almost 2 seconds difference. Here's Matt.
The man on the move is Dale Jarrett. He'd fallen all the way back to fourth with a tight race car, but now the car is beginning to come into his liking. He's already made it back up to second. He passed Kyle Petty, who a lot of people thought would be the dark horse today. His car great on long runs. The DJ's even better. He's now beginning to reel in the leader.
Although on the computer, the quickest laps consistently are being turned in now by Jeff Gordon. Most everybody else at 139.8 miles an hour. The 24 cars, he gets set to go by Kenny Wallace. He is at 140.1 miles an hour, with Michael Waltrip and Dick Trickle second and third, at least on the clocks, as far as the quick laps are concerned.
Terry Labonte's also turning in some quick laps. Recall, he started way in the back of the pack, but he's running well now.
There you see the Texaco Haviland points as they run at this very second. What had been 110 points spread and 155 back to Dale Jarrett. You see how it is adjusted here through the first 61 laps of today's race. Michael Waltrip, he's running ninth. Ricky Rudd 10th, the 43, Bobby Hamilton 11th. And we're riding with 12th place Rick Mast. Rick's had a couple of top 10s here in the last few races, and actually the best performances of all of 1997 for Rick. His only top 10s of the year were at Dover and Talladega here in the last few.
You're right about that. And the 43 car of Bobby Hamilton always runs well here. You can see him just in front of the car you're riding with right now. That's Rick Mast we're riding with. As they head down the back straightaway, you can see Hamilton's car looks very stable off the corner.
And Bobby Hamilton led 36 laps here in the spring, you might remember, if you were with us on TNN Motorsports. The leader is in traffic now. There's Bobby Labonte, the green machine. He is the race leader. He's got David Green ahead of him in the Caterpillar colors. And the 98, that's John Andretti in 40.
Eli, let's talk about what's happening right now. He's putting some good race cars a lap down. Bobby is able to turn the car, as you can see right there, right on the bottom of the racetrack. Everybody else is skating.
Meanwhile, look at this battle. This is a dandy at 17th spot.
And Skinner in that number 31 car has got to bring that thing home with all four fenders on it. It seems as if everybody has been looking for Skinner, and if there's a car to hit, he's been the one. So he has set out with a mission today, which is to bring that car home in one piece. If he can't, he's going to have a good finish. He runs well here at Rockingham.
Now riding with Bill Elliott. This is 5th, 6th, and 7th from Elliott to Jeff Gordon, the DuPont car. In the right-hand side of the screen, that white car on the apron, that is Mark Martin.
Mark was all the way up to second. Now he's dropping back to the field there. I think maybe that hard run right at the first of the race, he may have used up some of his tires there.
Yeah, he's being bypassed still while we ride with Bill Elliott. Again, Gordon and Jeff Burton, who has been the hot shoe on super speedways all year. This is for 4th. Mark Martin's really starting to backslide now. Rick Mast is right behind him. That's 10th place. Ricky Rudd there in the Tide car. That's 11th.
How important are the tires in the last 50 laps? We have dropped 10 miles an hour. That's what's happening to the tires. Doesn't mean the tires are bad. This is an exceptionally abrasive racetrack, and that's the problem. They just slow down. It's the only way it can be. Let's go to Matt.
An update on Mark Martin. His car has moved to the tight side, so they are dropping back, waiting to their pit stops, which hopefully will come around lap 85. But this is going to be a monkey see, monkey do. Everyone is waiting to see what the leader will do.
on Saturday, but has not won here in a Winston Cup car since 1989. You see some pit stops now. You saw Bobby Hamilton was in at lap number 67. Here at lap number 68, David Green is in for service. But there's the leader's crew chief, Jimmy Maycar. He likes what he sees. Back at Rockingham, the leader is the green number 18 of Bobby Labonte. Rusty Wallace in the 2. He is 34th, about to go a lap down. We are seeing pit stops, though, for many of the top runners. Why? Because new tires is equating to 5 miles an hour of speed difference between the fellas with the new tires and even Bobby Labonte, who is the race leader. Glenn?
Oh, exactly, Eli. Kyle Petty came in and took on 4 tires and a slight chassis adjustment while we were away. And you're exactly right. As I said a while ago, 2 seconds difference between lap 15 and lap 55. In 40 laps, the tires fell off that much. It's just because of the abrasive surface here. Ricky Craven has got a 4-tire change. He's down and away. Here comes Morgan Shepherd by. We expect to see Bobby Labonte in the next couple of laps. They've got the stopwatch on him. They know how much they're losing. Dale Jarrett has closed in right on his rear bumper now, and Jeff Gordon's catching him. In fact, Labonte's crowd is getting ready, so they should be here within the next lap and a half.
Ted Musgrave has been in for service. Derek Cope, Morgan Shepherd, Hutch Strickland, Craven, Joe Nemechek, and here comes the leader now. So Dale Jarrett takes over the lead as Bobby Labonte comes in for service at lap number 75. Glenn is there.
And this is exactly when they told me that they would come in. And you know what's ironic about this? This car particularly consistently gets the best fuel mileage of any car out here. They can run 100 laps or better on fuel, but they're out of tires, so they got to stop. They can't afford to give up that time to the cars that have already stopped. They're around to the right side now, putting the right sides on. Here they come to the left. This trouble there getting the jack up, but that's not too bad. And the left rear is just now going on. This pit stop not one of their best. 23.4 seconds. That's slow for them. They lost about 3 extra seconds there. Ward Burton also in the 22. Same thing. They're going to the left side now. They did make a slight chassis adjustment on the car. So this is the first opportunity they've had to look at these cars to make the adjustments. Ward Burton down the lane in the MBNA Pontiac.
So pit stops good for some, not quite as quick for others. Dale Jarrett is the race leader. We're keeping an eye on Kyle Petty as well after his stop moments ago. We'll try and get a good look at it for you. Looks as though the headers are really dragging on the racetrack. He's got a shower of sparks as he works into the corners. But there you see the race leader, Dale Jarrett, going around Darrell Waltrip now, as most of the teams are making their stops. Here comes Jeff Burton onto the pit lane for service here at lap number 78. You ride with Jeff Burton. He is in. So too Michael Waltrip. Mark Martin. Chad Little is in. Steve Burns.
And Jeff Burton to the attention of his crew. Now they're going to make a slight chassis adjustment. 1 round on the track bar, and they're going to take some air pressure out of the left front. Let's go to Matt Yoko.
They're making a 4-tire stop for Mark Martin. He thought he had a tire going down, so he stayed out an extra couple of laps. It turns out it was not. He said he found the groove he can run in. 19.6 seconds. Good stop for the Valvoline crew.
Indeed, a good stop. And here comes the race leader, Dale Jarrett. He will pit at lap 80. Lap 80. That will give Jeff Gordon the race lead. So Gordon takes over at lap number 80. Dale Jarrett also in for service. Here come other stops now. Robert Presley. Let's go back to the pits.
Slugger, Labby, and Brad Parrott going to work on the outside, changing the tires on Dale Jarrett. This will be a 4-tire stop. They will be making some adjustments. A half a pound of air out of the left front and right rear. Good stop for Dale Jarrett. And he's down and away. 18.6 seconds.
Now the lead goes to Jeff Bodine as Jeff Gordon comes in for a pit stop. Glenn?
And Gordon will come to the attention of the Rainbow Warriors. This also will be 4 tires. Everybody want to get a chance to take a look at the tire wear right now. We saw the tires come off of Bobby Labonte's car, and they are pretty well worn out in only 75 laps. But as the track gets more rubber on it, we expect to see tire wear improve. They are not making a chassis adjustment. The adjustment on Gordon's car will be with air pressure. And as we noted, he was coming on strong. Great pit stop. 19.5 for Jeff Gordon. He's down say they liked the way the car was handling, particularly at the end of that run when the tire wear was at its worst. Gordon was at his best.
One thing you could see from up here, every car that come in had the front end packed with rubber. The tire wear is so excessive, the front grills on these cars were just packed. There was a good pound of rubber come off the front of every one of those cars as they cleaned the grill.
Jeff Bodine leading the 10th different race of the year for him. He will now come onto the pit lane. That will give Kyle Petty the race lead. Glenn?
And Bodine brings the QVC Ford in. These guys, we saw him get together with Ricky Craven earlier on, and it looked like they got the car a little loose, but I do not see a chassis adjustment being made right now. Right side's done. They come around to the left. Jack is up under the car. Ooh, the left front tire changer was waiting on the jack man, so he was doing his job well. Now the left rear a little slow, and he's down and away 22.3, so he gave away about 3 seconds to Dale Jarrett, Jeff Gordon, and the others, but still good run so far for Jeff Bodine.
So Pontiacs right now are running first, second, and third. Right there on the screen, you've got Kyle Petty, who has led both races at Pocono, the Pepsi 400, and Richmond, leading here in Rockingham. Green flag racing continuing here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway, and there you see the current race leader, Bobby Labonte, ahead of Kyle Petty second. Bobby Hamilton is now in third. Dale Jarrett runs fourth. Dick Trickle runs fifth. The Pontiacs really got at it here over the last few moments. There was some good three-wide racing seconds ago.
Well, you can see right now the green car there, Bobby Labonte on the inside. Kyle kind of backed out and let Bobby Hamilton go into 43 on the outside, but this don't last very long. These two overhaul the 43 of Hamilton.
Would you have wanted Kyle Petty to stay there and see both those cars wrecked and then have to face his father? Think about that.
No, I drove for the Pettys. You don't wreck your own cars, believe me.
No, I would not want to face Richard Petty under those circumstances. They're both operated out of Petty Enterprises.
We are back live now. If you're keeping tabs at home with us, Kyle Petty led laps 83 through 85. Bobby Hamilton led 86 and 87. And then Bobby Labonte takes over the lead again at lap number 88. Of course, he knew this was coming too. He runs well here. He finished second at Charlotte, second at Talladega. Got the great pit service there. Was in on the lead. Came out with the lead. There you see Jeff Gordon. He had a tougher stop, as we told you earlier.
Here's one for you to think about. Kyle Petty won 5 poles here. He won 3 races here. And he had 2 different crew chiefs, but he had 1 engine builder, John Wilson. Guess who built the motor in that number 18 car? John Wilson. He is the common denominator to Kyle Petty's success with the car that's leading the race right now.
There's 12th place, the number 6 of Mark Martin, the 10 of Ricky Rudd, the 31 there of Skinner. He is being shown a lap down at this stage of the afternoon. Let me correct myself. Skinner is being shown on the lead lap right now.
Can I go? Whoa! Did you see the 6th car Mark Martin get sideways off turn 4? I hadn't done that today. I thought I'd go ahead and get it in there.
Well, we're a day late. You might as well.
Having a good run here today.
Yes, he is.
There's somebody else having a good run. We're going to get to him in a few minutes, but I'll tell you, we have one car that's really doing a great job out there right now. I've talked to the people in the truck, and we're going to show it.
Going to let us in on your secret?
Yeah, I'm going to keep it a secret for a moment or two.
Glenn Jarrett, what was the deal with Jeff Gordon when they made the pit stop?
Well, we finally get a chance, Eli, to take a look at those tires that came off the right side. You can see where he's gotten into the wall. Now, oddly enough, I expected to see this kind of damage to the rim on the rear tire, but this is the right front. So he banged it up a little bit. It did not lose any air. If I can get Brad to come around here and show, look at all the paint and stuff off the wall from the right rear tire here. It beat up the rim a little bit, but it did not hurt the car. In fact, after that, boy, in the last part of that run, he came on like gangbusters. So they don't think there's any damage right now. Everything okay. Tire wear is good. Here's Matt Yoakum.
Mark Martin's pretty happy with how his car is handling. It's a tad loose, as Buddy Baker said. You can see the car kick out a little bit. They're just going to be content and ride and let the car come into him. Mark has found a groove that he is happy with, and that is where he will ride. Steve Burns.
Matt, Dale Jarrett, we just looked at his tires. The left front was worn pretty badly, probably more than they wanted to be. They made an air pressure adjustment to see if they could correct that situation.
They see who was strong on the pit lane in the stops that actually lasted from lap 69 through lap 82. That was the window of opportunity that the teams took advantage of. There you see Jeff Gordon grabbing 11th away from Ricky Rudd in the 24, Rudd in the 10.
I'm going to talk about the guy. We're not showing him right now because the racing's so good right now with Jeff Gordon, but Dick Trickle is in 5th place and doing a great job in the Jimmy Donlevy car. I just wanted to give him a call because I know how tough it is with the group and all. They're really coming together, and I would expect Trickle before too long, maybe to surprise everybody and win one of these things.
And of course, a great runner-up position here on Saturday. There's Dick Trickle in the Heinrich-Myers Ford, Craven in the 25, and Trickle right behind him in the 90. And that is going to be a good battle for 5th spot as they swap around here just a bit.
Pride of Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. In fact, the whole state claims this guy. They all want him to be from their hometown.
There is the race leader. Bobby Labonte took over the lead most recently at lap 88. We have just passed lap 100 in a 393-lap race. Welcome back to the Rock. There is the race leader, Bobby Labonte. He has 3 9/10 seconds on Kyle Petty, 4 3/10 seconds over Dale Jarrett, and there is the battle for second place happening even as we speak here at the start-finish line.
Eli, that wasn't much of a battle. When DJ got there, Dale Jarrett in the 88, he just went right by the 44 of Kyle Petty. Kyle didn't even put up a battle there. I think Kyle's on a mission to save those tires and run fast later on in the run.
He just wants to run fast. He wanted to leave this morning on his motorcycle to go to Phoenix, Arizona. There were a whole bunch of them. Robin Pemberton was one, and the rain has caused either a delay or a cancellation of that trip. He wants to get out of here, get going to Phoenix on the bike.
Unscheduled stop for Johnny Benson while we watch the race leader. Johnny was in just 31 laps ago, and he's on the pit lane again. This is for 5th place. Somebody was for 5th place, and it's gone that quickly.
I tell you, that 25 red, and it's painted appropriately. This thing's on fire right now. He's going by these cars like they're waiting on him. You see Kyle Petty just in front of him. As Trickle moves up on Hamilton there, that's going to be a battle for position in a lap or two. Looks like Hamilton's a little bit off pace right now.
You got some rookies of the year right there. Ricky Craven from 1995. Bobby Hamilton, Dick Trickle. Trickle's been rookie of the year in many a series.
He's been a rookie, a senior member of every racing fraternity that I can think of. But let me tell you something. Don't worry about him being a few days older than these guys. He is a fine race car driver.
Look at this, getting right by Bobby Hamilton. Of course, Hamilton, remember, he pitted way early. He started the pit stop sequencing at lap 67. Others didn't stop until lap 82. And I think now we're starting to see the tire wear begin to become a factor for Hamilton.
It can work out really well if you pit before everybody else. If you then get a caution flag and you get your new set of tires on with everybody else, you can gain some ground doing that. But we've gone green today. We haven't had that situation develop so far, so pitting early really hasn't helped a whole lot.
Eli, you can see Mark Martin's off just a little bit. He's been dialing in, trying to fix this car all day long. He's got to condition the car. No trouble. Jimmy Spencer gets out of control.
There's your caution.
And Ricky Rudd got a piece of it, too. They were running 11th and 12th. Caution on the speedway at lap 112. There's Ricky, the defending champion of this ACDelco 400. 11th and 12th, Rudd and Spencer were running as they tangled midway down the back straightaway, and caution for the second time. The first caution was at lap 2 because of rain. Now here at lap 112. The leader is Dale Jarrett. You see clearly Spencer okay, unbuckling his helmet. Ricky Rudd has limped the Tide machine around towards the garage entrance on the main straightaway. Let's take a look at what happened, guys, and figure out who did what.
Eli, turn 2 again. You see right there, that's Jimmy Spencer on the outside. He comes off the corner, gets into the outside wall. Here comes Ricky Rudd. He gets collected in the exchange there.
He knew he was going to hit it too, buddy. You see the brakes lock up? Spencer smoked the brakes just before he hit that wall.
The car kind of wiggled on him.
You know, it looked like something may have gone wrong with the right side of the car there as he was coming off the corner. I noticed smoke, and then That sometimes, though, you can come off wide there and get in the loose stuff on the outside there, and it'll sweep you right into the wall.
Here they all come. Everybody's going to pit.
Let's go to Glenn Jarrett. He's down in the leader's pit.
Bobby Labonte comes down in the Interstate Batteries Pontiac. I was trying to get Jimmy Makar, the crew chief's attention to see if they were going to make another chassis adjustment. Wow, I just got hit in the head with the signboard there. didn't hurt me. Right side tires, I don't see a chassis adjustment, so evidently they're going to do it with the tire. Ward Burton comes in behind him. Let's go to Matt.
Dale Jarrett's car had gone to the tight side again. They will not make a wedge adjustment. Just fix him up with air pressure, and he's down and away.
All of these stops at lap number 114. They're going to break away. When we come back, we'll take another look at, see if what we can determine may have happened to Jimmy Spencer's car there, the way it wiggled off the corner, and we'll reset the running order for you. Caution for the second time at Rockingham. TNN Motorsports live coverage of the ACDelco 400 is being brought to you by the more than 1,750 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by Wrangler, cowboy cut jeans. Back with you here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway. It was a heck of a lick that Jimmy Spencer's machine took into the wall. And let's take a look, buddy, and see if we can see if anything broke or what got him sideways in the first place.
Okay, you see Jimmy Spencer coming through the corner here. Okay, right here. And he starts off, he's running the high line. And as he starts through the corner there, the back end starts to break loose right there. Now he's always sideways. Now he's trying to get control. You see the back really getting out. He gets up in the loose stuff, puts the brakes on right there, and that's what got him into the outside wall. Ricky Rudd unfortunately come along at the wrong time and got into the back of Spencer, tearing his car up.
So there you see what happened. Jimmy Spencer and the remains of the Camel number 23. Jeff Gordon's on the racetrack in fourth spot, Glenn.
Yes, he is, Eli, and that is due to a great pit stop by his guys. 17.95 seconds to do the four-tire change under that caution. He came in 10th position, went out in fourth. There is some concern down here right now, though, as he was exiting his pit very fastly. He ran into a rear tire that had come off of Kyle Petty's pit, or Kyle Petty's car, who was pitted right next to him. It did a little bit of damage to the left front. If we can get a close-up sometime, you can see a little dent there on the left front air dam. They don't think it's a problem. Matt?
Mark Martin's car has again moved to the tight side. They loosen him up with air pressure, no wedge adjustment. A lot of cars and drivers are telling me, that the left front tire that are coming off the cars are the tires that are being abused the most. Normally it might be the outside tires, but it's the left front, because a lot of teams are using more camber to help the car cut or turn into the corner. Steve Burns?
Matt, the guys upstairs were talking about how well Dick Trickle has been running today, how improved that team is. They had a very good pit stop for that team. They came in fifth, went out, held their position. They're now running fifth. Tommy Baldwin, the crew chief, there was a lot of speculation that he might leave. In fact, that he might go to a Hendrick Motorsports team, but he has really whipped his crew into shape. But he said he's staying next year with Dick Trickle and Judy Donlevy on the 90 car.
That'll be exciting to watch for 1998. Time now for our Tech Fact, brought to you by the more than 1,725 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. Here's Larry McReynolds.
Track time in practice before qualifying has become so important and so limited that we're continuously trying to come up with ways to maximize our time on the racetrack. Now, we know prior to qualifying, to run as fast as we can, we need to put as much tape as we can on the front end to really make it run fast down the straightaways. To do that, you have to have cold water in the radiator. What we've come up with is this cool-down machine. It's basically an inline radiator that has cold water in it. What we'll do, we'll plug these fittings into the top radiator hose, cut the machine on. It basically pulls the hot water out of the engine and radiator, puts it in the machine, transfers the cold water back into the race car. Where before we maybe could make 2 practice qualifying runs in an hour, we now can maybe make 5, and that just lets us find more ways that we can maybe run faster and have a chance of sitting on the pole. Plus, it won't make near the mess in the garage area with water running everywhere.
We're We're about a lap away from going back to green. The ACDelco 400 being led by Bobby Labonte. Last year, Jimmy Spencer led the most miles on the NASCAR Winston Cup Tour. Today, it doesn't look as though he's going to be leading too many of them, but at least he's out of the care center. Let's get an update on Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy's with us right now. Jimmy, a lot of damage to the car. How are you and what happened?
I don't know what happened. I'm fine, man. You can't hurt this guy. We're running really good. We had a great pit stop. You know, my guys congratulating. They got in the top 5 in the picker contest. And I Tim Williams said it best. I think when we change colors in the Taurus next year, we're going to have a whole lot better luck. I don't know what happened. I don't know if something cut a tire down. Maybe I just got too high. I really don't know. I hope you guys got it on film. I can analyze it myself, but just no luck. You know, we've had no luck at all, Rich, all year long. I mean, Daytona, here, Darlington. Every time we run real good, something happens like this, and maybe it'll change, hopefully.
All right, Jimmy, let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Dick Trickle is currently 5th, but there is a problem on the Heilig Myers Ford. His radio sends radio transmissions to his crew chief, Tommy Baldwin Jr., but he cannot hear what they are saying to him. They're using the old hand signals like Buddy Baker used to do back in the 60s, and now they're getting ready to go back to green.
Right after we quit using smoke, Matt.
Green flag is in the air. Here we go. The number 2 of Rusty Wallace tried to get his lap back. Let's see if he can do so. He is running in 31st spot, and he does get back on the lead lap. So Rusty Wallace on the tail end of the lead lap. The race leader is the 18, Bobby Labonte. 25, Ricky Craven is second.
Great run by Ricky Craven, taking the outside line as they head down towards the front straightaway. You can see great drive by Ricky Craven.
9th time this year, 9th different race that Ricky Craven has led in 1997.
But the first time he has ever led here at Rockingham. Craven scored his first ever career Winston Cup top 5 here in 1996 February when he finished in 3rd spot. He finished 5th here in the spring. He does extremely well. Whoa, is that Skinner up in the wall?
Up there in turn number 4. Close call there. Good bit of right side damage you see on Mike Skinner's machine. Running so very well.
Well, that's just what he had to not have happen today.
I don't see any smoke coming off the right-hand side of the car, so maybe we'll just get a little bit of damage to the sheet metal itself.
Their second place now, the scramble between Dale Jarrett in the 8 and the 18 of Bobby Labonte.
And proving there the number 90 car of Dick Trickle as he moves in here to fight it out with him. You don't have to hear. Just drive.
Trickle having a great run today. What a nice drive he's having. You show those kids how to do it.
Watch what happened to Skinner up here in the corner.
You see he's in the very high part of the racetrack there. He just rubs the wall there a little bit. No real hard contact there.
Ernie Irvin also almost lost it seconds ago there, the number 28 machine. Ernie's now running in 16th spot, but he about lost it in the corner.
From 39th to 16th right now. He's doing a great job of getting through traffic there. You see him going through the middle part. He's a black car there just behind the 4 car as they go down the front straightaway.
And you see the yellow Johnny Benson car?
Yeah, I mean, something absolutely has happened to Benson's car. He was slowing down for a half a lap before he got on your screen and then just drifting in the back. That's that yellow number 30.
Let's check in with Ricky Rudd's team and see how they're doing.
Well, Eli, they're hard at work on the front end of Ricky's car. Ricky's still sitting in the car. Ricky, can you get back out and get some points?
Well, we're going to get back out, you know, and just try to get all the points we can. It's not looking too good for the point standing situation. A little bit of a shame. You know, we had a pretty good race car. Some of the guys in front of us were short pitting. We were pretty quick on the racetrack, sitting there around 10th when wrong place at the wrong time. Jimmy Spencer cuts a tire, hits the fence. Of all places, I happen to be the next guy behind him, so that's kind of how it's been going lately.
All right, short afternoon for Ricky Rudd.
Let's take a look at what happened to Ernie there a moment ago. The 28 of Ernie Irvin, we told you he was way sideways.
Okay, the black car there, it gets touched there by the 98 of John Andretti and gets really crossed up. You can see Bobby Hamilton on the outside there taking evasive action coming off the corner.
Looked like Ernie had to check up behind the 97 of Chad Little, too. At least a quick look seemed to indicate that, and maybe the 98 just couldn't react as quickly.
Tight traffic. Very tight traffic here this afternoon.
There you see Ernie Irvan up to speed in 18th position. Yeah, Chad Little had gotten just a touch sideways, it seemed, ahead of Ernie, who stomped on the brakes. We watched Kyle Petty in the 44. He's running 6th. The 81, that's Kenny Wallace. He went a lap down early in 32nd position.
That's Rick Mast that you're looking at in the Remington car there. What a great run he's having today. He's still in the fight here and is moving towards the front.
He's in 7th.
And he's getting a lot of TV this weekend. I hope you saw the show last night. Eli and Remington and Rick Mast shooting up the screen in their little competition.
Had a good time at the Sporting Clays competition. Is look at old Dick Trickle. That's O-L apostrophe Dick Trickle.
Yeah.
He goes in the 3rd spot around Dale Jarrett. What a run.
Yeah, I watched a commercial the other day. 243, and I understand they serve champagne. He keeps driving like this, he'll find out.
I think he'd rather have a cup of coffee these days than champagne. Or maybe even a beer.
For medicinal purposes.
Guys, I want you to look right here. He's moving in on one of the better cars in the field right here. He's driving his heart out right now. What a great run by Dick Trickle.
What a good combination for Junie Dunleavy to have Trickle and Tommy Baldwin Jr. And it is a combination that is required to run well here at Winston Cup. And they've been through a lot of drivers in that team and a lot of different crew chiefs. This is one that has gelled especially effectively.
Career start number 250. We mentioned that to you earlier. This being his birthday, 56 years of age, with 14 top 5 finishes in the previous 249 starts.
You know, he won his first Busch Grand National race this year. You don't suppose today would be the day he wins his first Winston Cup race.
It happened on TNN.
Yeah.
We'll make a clean sweep of it.
What a birthday present that would be.
But we've got a lot of racing to go.
Yeah, I was just fixing to say, don't feel a lid on that present yet. He's going to have to earn this. There's a lot of great racing. You can see right there, he's taking 2nd place, or trying to, from Labonte as they go in the corner. Side by side, here goes Trickle in the 2nd. Look at Dale Jarrett drop to the bottom, and look at Jeff Gordon. He's moved right into the fight.
Very much behind Craven, the leader, Labonte 2nd. It is 1 9/10 seconds. Actually, not Trickle in 2nd. So 1 9/10 seconds from the leader to 2nd. Here goes Jarrett for 3rd.
Gordon right in your picture.
You know, I would have to speculate, as good as Labonte was running earlier, they may have changed the air pressure just a little bit and went overboard. They would probably have to adjust that car back and get it as good as it was the first 50, 75 laps of this race, because he's dropping position pretty quickly now. You know,
that's the same car he ran at Charlotte, ran so well with, and had that little problem in the middle of the race where he wound up sideways with the thing. Finished 2nd, but that car can be what you call, Buddy Baker, a rocket ship.
Could well be, and we'll see how this day plays out. Ricky Craven is the leader. Dick Trickle is running in 2nd. And Andy Graves looks on from the Budweiser pit, charting all the numbers. Opryland USA is the official destination of NASCAR. For more information on Opryland, you can call them at 615-889-6611 or log on to country.com. And remember, Country Christmas coming up before too long. A beautiful time of the year to visit Opryland USA, Nashville, Tennessee, the official destination of NASCAR. Welcome back, everybody, with Dick Berggren and Buddy Baker, Glenn Jarrett, Matt Yoakum, and Steve Burns. I'm Eli Gold. We are 145 laps into the 393-lap ACDelco 400. There was the interval from 1st place Craven to the 90 Dick Trickle. He's running in 2nd. Dale Jarrett in the 88 is running 3rd.
And as you see that incredible interval, it makes you wonder about Ricky Craven. Here's a guy that last year at Talladega, side over side, end over end. This year, Texas, hurt badly. This is an incredible demonstration of comeback and courage. Craven leading this race, dominating.
Now we go to the 6th place battle for a moment right there. The 44, Kyle Petty. 94 is Bill Elliott. Riding with Bill.
You can see Bill's hands very, very still as you look back at Jeff Burton there as he goes down in the corner. Look what a great grip that car on the outside got getting in the corner there. He closed in 2 car lengths on Bill. Right now it looks like the outside groove is just as fast as the low side.
And we switch from one in-car look to the other. There's Bill Elliott. Jeff Burton to his outside. 7th place, changing hands right there.
Petty getting the pass by there also. Jeff Burton on the move.
The man who has amassed more points on super speedways this year than any other driver, Jeff Burton. He and Bill Elliott both going around Kyle Petty. Johnny Benson is on the pit lane. So is Glenn Jarrett.
Thanks, guys. We're talking about Bobby Labonte losing some spots there. As I reported earlier, the car was a little bit loose. They kept trying to tighten it up, and that particular set of tires has got it just a little bit tighter than Bobby wanted it. Right now, he's being overtaken by his brother Terry on the racetrack, so he's a little tight. I want to take this opportunity, buddy. Let me ask you a question. When Matt was talking about those hand signals you used a while ago, way back before radio, are those the same hand signals you used to me when you were trying to put me a lap down?
Glenn, be easy there. You know I always raced in mittens, so I didn't get in trouble.
Fireproof mittens, but mittens
nonetheless.
We're at lap 150. 197 makes up the halfway point. Matt Yoakum, we were talking before as we watched the battle from Elliott on back. That is 7th on back. We said before Johnny Benson was making a series of stops, made another one at lap 148. What's the deal?
Yeah, they think they may have a broken axle on the car. They pitted to take off 4 tires. Doug Hewitt told Johnny, spin the tires big time when you leave so we can check and see if we have a broken axle. Right now they're communicating on the radio.
So that's the story for Johnny Benson. How about this battle for second? Dick Trickle in the 90, Dale Jarrett in the 88. They are 2 2/10 of a second behind the leader, Ricky Craven.
The point that I really like watching right now, this is deep into the run after they've made tire changes here. These cars are working on very new tires. Trickle is right there. Dale Jarrett is one quick race car. Ricky Craven, though, the only non-winner in the Hendrick Motorsports team right now, doing a great job. I tell you what, Rick Hendrick knows how to pick drivers. I've never seen a bad driver in one of his cars.
And they qualified well, too. Ricky was the highest qualified non-winner for today's race. There we go back now to 11th, 12th, and 13th. Dale Earnhardt up to 13th now.
Picking them off, being very careful. Larry McReynolds has said, don't wear your tires out. You see him going on the inside of Mark Martin right down the straightaway.
But you know what? You watch Earnhardt's lap speeds, and he has consistently been among the fastest cars for the last several laps. Earnhardt is on the move. The car is running well for him. He's passing cars and heading to the front.
They are 8 seconds behind Ricky Craven. If you're a Jimmy Spencer fan, they have given up the ghost on the Campbell machine for the day. They'll not be able to repair it at all. They have just withdrawn for the afternoon. Battle for second, still a good one. Trickle holding off Dale Jarrett as they go past the front pit road area in the view of Tommy Baldwin Jr. Another birthday boy. He's the crew chief for Dick Trickle. Let's check in with that bunch.
Yeah, it's his birthday, but they're having problems communicating. How are you communicating with Dick Trickle, Tommy?
Well, right now we're using hand signals. He can hear me, but I can't hear him. So if we got a little bit of problem, he's going to put his hand up for loose or hand down for pushing. But this Holly Miles Ford Thunderbird is hooked up today, and we need a top five finish for these guys. They work hard, and guys back in the shop do a real good job putting this car together. So far, so good.
And they're having a great run, Eli.
They are from East Northport, Long Island. Tommy Baldwin Jr., of course, his dad, the great NASCAR Featherlight Modified Tour ace, Tom Baldwin, at number 7. Why?
Is that Long Island?
Long Island.
Long Island.
Long Island.
You know, if you have a problem with the radio, it's very essential that you hear the pits. It's not that important for the driver to be able to communicate, but like he said, you can point towards the roof, that means it's loose. Hold down on the door, that means it's very tight. So you can communicate, the driver can, without saying a word.
There is 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. Mark Martin. The 4 is Sterling Marlin. 18, Bobby Labonte. 21, Michael Waltrip.
Sterling's done a great job. He's another of those guys out in the back pit. He started in 35th position today. Same position he started here in the spring and motored himself all the way to becoming a contender, running at 13th.
Remember, too, Sterling has finished 20th or worse in 11 of the last 13 races. There's the race leader, Ricky Craven.
Here we are at the world's do-it-yourself finals. Larry Snyder's up in the routing compulsory.
TNN Motorsports live coverage of the ACDelco 400 is being brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. At Napa, we keep America running. And by Peerless Faucet, the do-it-for-yourself faucet. We are back with you live at the North Carolina Motor Speedway in Rockingham. Only 2 caution flags to slow the pace today. One for rain and one for a Ricky Rudd, Jimmy Spencer get-together. Here's second place being battled for on the screen. We're riding with Rick Mast, looking forward towards Dick Trickle. This is for second.
Guys, don't do it.
Trickle's got some horsepower, but I'll tell you, Rick Mast, those guys got to be tickled as well as they're running.
Great run. Running third right now, like you say, trying to take second away. Trickle get good run down the straightaway, but what a great run by this 75 car of Rick Mast today.
Let's go to Rick's pit.
Eli, there's a great story unfolding here with Rick Mast. His team has overcome some adversity. They had to bring their Dover car here. They finished 10th in that car, but they had to bring that car because they wrecked the car they were going to race here in Rockingham at a test just a few weeks ago in Atlanta.
Well, you never know what one day's bad luck might mean for another day's good. Mast running well. Ran well here in 94, you might remember. Memory serves a little about
both races.
Race in one instance. Yeah.
Yep. He led 58 laps in the second event, finished second, finished third in the first event. Career best right here at Rockingham.
That was the day Earnhardt won a championship at this track.
Yeah.
Sure was.
And his car under Butch Mock sure knows how to set up here. Had some great runs with late Neil Bonnet in that 75 car here at Rockingham.
And again, Rick Mast in the 75 we mentioned earlier had top 10 finish at Dover, top 10 at Talladega. The only top 10s of the year, but they've come here late, so you can tell things starting to turn the corner.
Well, you know, we talked earlier in the show about the Pontiac being the dominant car in the race. Right now, we have a Chevrolet and 2 Fords up front.
Nobody don't have nowhere to go.
It seems that the cars are very, very equal. Right now, it's a balance of the cars, and the way they're actually adjusting the weight in these cars is where they're running. Not necessarily a rule change given anybody anything.
That's fourth place, swapping hands right there.
Okay, talking about an advantage, we were talking last night about how the Ford, Chevrolet, and Pontiac, there's been one of those in each of the 3 finishing positions. First, second, and third, either a Ford, a Chevy, or Pontiac. No duplications since New Hampshire.
Exactly.
Since New Hampshire. I mean, that is parity, absolute parity.
I want to talk about Jeff Burton a little bit. In the 99 there, he goes by Dale Jarrett to really move up in here and get himself in good spot. He's moved into 4th now.
And he's got 3 top 5s in the last 4 races here, as both he, Burton, and Jarrett go by Darrell Waltrip. DW going a 4th lap down now in 36th position, number 17.
4-time winner here, Darrell Waltrip, down another lap.
Lake Speed in the number 9. He's running 29th, and he's going further back in traffic. He's already a lap down. Matter of fact, only the top 22 remain on the lead lap. Leader working traffic now, trying to put Ward Burton away in the MB&A Pontiac.
This is when you earn your money. It's easy to run around here by yourself, but when you get in traffic, as you can see, there's not that much difference in the lead car and the car you're trying to get by. I mean, they go at it down the straightaway very equal. Craven right there in the center part of the corner a little better. But watch Ward Burton fight back on the outside. And these are cars that are fighting for their life right now. You say, why don't they just get out of the way? They're racing too.
Well, they don't want to lose that lap.
And here's a guy, Ward Burton, who told me the other day, he said, I just like to attack this racetrack. He said he learned a lot from Mark Martin and Steve Meal, and he pulls a lower gear, coming right back. He pulls a lower gear, he told me, anywhere from 8,900 to 9,200 RPMs, but they'll look for in an MB&A machine.
Told his brother, don't spin the rear tires. No matter what you do at Rockingham, don't spin those rear tires.
So we work at lap number 174.
Rick Mast way high.
Oh, man.
Excuse me, Eli, but I couldn't help it. He just got up there and looked like he was going to run. He's lost about 5 positions in that one little slide there. Very lucky to hang on to that race car, Rick Mast.
Scary. He'll get back in line behind Jeff Gordon and ahead of Terry Labonte. Watch this.
Okay, right there, you can see the back of the car getting way up. He's in trouble right there. Slide sideways a little bit. The only way to get it back straight, stay out the gas and let it straighten up.
The man who sold the cow took the money and bought his first race car. Rick Mast. Back running in 7. Back up front, Ricky Craven going around the 26th place runner, while Ward Burton comes in for an early pit stop. He's running 30th. We're nearing halfway. Ricky Craven by 9/10 of a second is the race leader here at Rockingham over Dale Jarrett, Jeff Burton, Dick Trickle, and Jeff Gordon. Gordon having gotten around Bobby Hamilton, moving up to 5th. Rick Mast, we bragged on him. It's like being on the cover of Sports Illustrated, I guess. We brag, and he goes behind the wall. Steve Burns, I know you were in their pit area. What's the story?
Eli had just talked to the car owner, Butch Mock, and he said they're not sure exactly what the problem is, but it is a motor problem. They've lost power. Back to the garage.
That's a heartbreaker. So Rick Mast behind the wall. Ricky Rudd and Jimmy Spencer already done for the day. There you see the 90 of Dick Trickle, the 24 of Jeff Gordon. That's 4th and 5th. We will tell you that the overcast is getting a little more significant as here comes Bobby Labonte onto the pit lane for service. Bobby, who had backslid all the way to 22nd spot, he will come in for his stop at lap number 184, just 13 laps shy of halfway. Glenn?
Well, Eli, like I said, they were not all happy with the way the car was, so they are making a chassis adjustment on the right rear to try to loosen the car up a little bit tight. They have changed right side tires. They're going to change the left side. They're on the left right now, but as I said, they're short pitting this time because they were losing so much ground on the racetrack. Bobby is down and away. They may be giving some of them later on, but they had to get that car freed up.
So they made the stop right now, short pitting, as Glenn says. Others, there you see Jeff Gordon around Dick Trickle. David Green's on pit road. Bobby Hamilton. Rusty Wallace is in for service. There's the STP crew working on Bobby Hamilton's machine. These stops are at lap 185.
They don't need fuel. They need tires. The handling has gone away on those cars, and that's why they're pitting.
Steve Grissom went a lap down. The 33, Kenny Schrader, going a lap down. Schrader in 27th spot.
Skinner pits. Kyle Petty pits.
Eli, when we're talking about short pitting, we don't mean they're stopping too quick in the pits. What we're talking about is they're stopping like 5, 6, 8 laps quicker than the scheduled time to stop and taking on new tires.
Let's check on the Hot Wheels team.
And Kyle Petty has brought the Hot Wheels Pontiac in for a 4-tire change. Don't see any chassis adjustment right now. If they change anything on the car, guys, it's going to be with air pressure. They're around to the left side now. Pretty good pit stop going if they get that left side down. Splashed a little fuel there. He's down and away. Kyle Petty back out. So like you say, guys, they're short pitting. Mike Skinner just pulled the Lowe's Chevrolet out. Remember, he had a little altercation with the wall. No damage to the car that we can see.
Lap 188, Derek Cope is in for service. There you see Ricky Craven going around Kyle, who's still coming up to full speed after making his pit stop. But now that he does and has the fresh tires, the 44 of Kyle Petty just pulls on away.
Eli, as we watch here, you can see Ricky Craven, the leader. Now, you want to see what new tires, the advantage. See Bobby Labonte in the green car there. Watch him go by right now down the back straightaway. It looks like everybody's waiting on him. That's how much quicker new tires are than old tires.
Pit stops, Jeff Gordon, Dick Trickle, Steve Burns.
I just talked to Tommy Baldwin, the crew chief. He said they will make no chassis adjustments, make a 4-tire change. We talked about Dick Trickle making the hand signals. Dick gave him the thumbs up coming down the front stretch, so they're very happy. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
Jeff Gordon comes in, and they're making a chassis adjustment. They adjusted the rear track bar, 4 tires of fuel. He's down and away. Jeff was reporting that the car was a little bit loose or pushing getting in, loose coming off. Here's Matt.
Mark Martin already in for service. A 4-tire pit stop for the Valvoline Ford. They went up 1 pound on the right front. It was way too loose. They also made a track bar adjustment.
All of these stops taking place under green. We're at lap 191. Jeff Burton comes in this time around the speedway. Dale Earnhardt's been in. Bill Elliott is in as well. Steve Burns.
And Jeff Burton in. The attention of Buddy Parrott's crew. They just tore one of the tear-offs windshield. The windshields are very dirty here today. It's going to be, as you see, a 4-tire change. Jeff Burton throws out some Gatorade. Very quick stop for the 99. Jeff Burton is gone.
And so is Dale Jarrett. He's gone with the lead as he made the move around Ricky Craven and works the back straightaway now at lap 192. So Craven leads from lap 123 to 191. And now as Craven makes a pit stop, Jarrett continues to pull on away, but a heck of a run going for Ricky Craven. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
And Ricky Craven brings the Budweiser Chevrolet slowly down pit road. Man, when you're leading a race like this and have to adhere to that speed limit on pit road, it seems like an eternity. Finally, he gets to his pit. They're not going to make any chassis adjustments this time. He loves the way the car. Well, wait a minute, they are. One round in the left rear, so very slight adjustment. They told me they didn't think they would do anything. Now they're around to the left side. Right sides are done. The left sides are going on right now. Ricky really likes the way the car's doing. He is down. Oh, trouble on the left front. A lot of trouble. Lug nuts came off. Oh, he stripped the lug nut. Now he's down and away. 24.7. What a terrible break.
Terrible braking knee as Dale Jarrett is in. Jeff Bodine is the new race leader. Let's go to Matt.
Dale Jarrett was complaining his car was a tad tight, so they will tighten him up with some, goosing him up with some air pressure. They had wanted to go to halfway, 20.5 seconds.
So there's the stop for Dale Jarrett. So Jeff Bodine is now the race leader. Here he comes in for service. Lake Speed also in for his scheduled stop here at lap 194. All of this under green, and all of this now within 3 laps of halfway in the ACDelco 400. New leader, Bobby Hamilton. As we go back to Glenn.
Yep, everybody in my pit areas for pit spaces coming in down here, they're peeling away the strip on Jeff Bodine's windshield. Right side tires are done around to the left side. This may be some strategy on Bodine's part, trying to stretch this thing as long as he can go. He has consistently all day gone just a couple of laps longer than the other cars. He's down and away in 22.6. He gave up a couple of seconds in the pits to the guys in front of him there, but maybe he can stretch that thing, like I said, just a few more laps longer. Some of these cars are going to have a trouble making it on just one more stop because we're just now getting the halfway point.
Well, here comes Bobby Hamilton to lead the Hallelujah lap, as they call it, after a day delayed by rain. We have gotten to halfway, and it's an official race. $10,000 for Bobby Hamilton. He wins the Gatorade Front Runner Award here at The Rock. Welcome back, everybody. Bobby Hamilton, the race leader, and you can get all the up-to-the-moment scoring if you'd like to log on your computer, www.nascar.com. NASCAR Online. It's got all the latest news from the world of NASCAR racing, and as we say, up-to-the-second scoring, weather updates, and everything you need to keep you totally informed about the world of NASCAR. NASCAR Online at www.nascar.com. Bobby Hamilton is the race leader, 2 seconds ahead of Jeff Gordon running in second. And there you see what 2 seconds looks like. The man behind him, 99, Jeff Burton in third. Then very quietly, the next man in line is Terry Labonte. As you see the swap going on right there for second place. Squeezes through. Burton's got second. Just did use Darrell Waltrip as the nice pick there.
Yeah, you call it pick.
Now the Wrangler mid-race report. 7 different leaders among the 12 lead changes. 2 cautions, 1 for rain at lap 2, 1 for Jimmy Spencer's problems with Ricky Rudd at lap 112. There you see the average speed. Cars out of the event. Spencer, they're still working on Ricky Rudd and Rick Mast's machines, but they are behind the wall now for many, many laps. 25 car Ricky Craven led 70 laps during that run of his. Ricky now, during the sequencing of pit stops, is running in 13th. Let's check in with the Rick Mast team and see how they're doing.
Rick, boy, I hate to see you guys push that car back to the garage. You had a great running. What put you out?
I don't know. It broke a camshaft or something in the valve train broke. It missed for 2 or 3 laps and it finally broke. I don't know know, man. You know, the good part about it, you get some good out of this, it's the most competitive it's been all year. And there's reasons for that. I mean, you know, Dave Charpentier came on board a while back, and he's got a lot of stuff he wants to implement next year and all the new cars. And this year we're trying to get through this year, and this particular car here, he had a lot of his stuff implemented on this car. And of course, you see the results, you know. We're trying to get to the last 100 miles, because you don't know what the track's going to do. It changed on us the first couple of runs. We adjusted, went the wrong way, adjust again, went the right way. Just trying to take it easy, be careful, you know. But, you know, the best part about it is I know where this team's headed, with Remington's involvement and the whole deal. I know what we've got, what we can do. And today's just one small flicker of light for what we're going to see.
Rick Mash from Rockbridge Baths, Virginia. Great battle you've been watching. The 24 Gordon has third. The 88 Jarrett has fourth. The 5, Terry Labonte, is in fifth, and we've not talked much about Terry, but quietly he's gotten back into this, starting 33rd. He's pitting on the back pitch, but we got to throw in a proviso here on all of this.
Well, there's really a couple of provisos here, Eli. One of them is that on the green flag pit stops, it doesn't matter whether you pit on the front stretch or the back stretch. Number 2, NASCAR has made some procedural changes. They speed the pace car up now. It used to be that they dropped the cars off of the front pit and they just kind of slowly go around, and the guys who pitted on the back had a real slow ride out to the backstretch. Now NASCAR speeds up the pace car, so the backstretch pit is not the disadvantage that it once was. Meanwhile, Labonte is having a great run with a crew chief who is undefeated. Randy Dorton was a crew chief one time, Talladega, and he won the race. And running well today, too.
Folks from Napa bringing you the NASCAR timing and scoring update across the top of the screen. Auto Parts keep America running.
That was kind of nice of everyone to say, though, that the influence that Dehart, who was the crew chief beforehand, had put into that race car, it was actually built while he was still crew chief. And a lot of the things that helped them win that race was because of the influence of the crew chief before.
You know that little tool that Larry McReynolds showed you, the heat exchanger?
Right.
Guy who invented that? Gary Dehart.
Quite a good mind around the NASCAR garage areas. And you're right, he did get some credit in all of the goings-on here of late. There you see the battle for third, fourth, and fifth. There is the race leader, Bobby Hamilton, about to put Jeff Green a lap down. Green running in 22nd. Now going 1 lap in arrears. On lap number 214, we had a change for the lead. We're now at lap 217. The 99 of Jeff Burton took over the top spot from Bobby Hamilton. Let's go back 3 laps ago, and here's how it happened. Into the corner.
Hamilton high, Burton downstairs, and there it goes. Notice all that tire debris up high in the turn. You just saw that in your screen. That's a good place not to put your tires. Get into that stuff, and you're going to find the wall immediately thereafter.
Let's ride with Jeff Burton down into turn 1. You can see he's taking a very low approach in, left front right on the white line. He lets the car go up in the center part of the corner, back in the throttle here. Comes out right against the wall now, down the back straightaway. They'll hold it right against the wall and then pinch it right back into the bottom part of the racetrack going into turn 3.
Remember a few years ago when we were rained out at both Martinsville and North Wilkesboro, and Jeff Bodine won the Monday races. Remember this year we were rained out at Martinsville. Jeff Burton won. And here we are on a Monday again.
You know, Earnhardt is not going away, Eli. He's moved right in behind Craven there. You can see that,
That's 8th and 9th. They're waiting, they're riding. Glenn, what are you hearing from the 25 bunch? Obviously, Glenn's still checking on that story, and we'll get an update from him in just a moment or so.
Eli, you can see the difference in the 2 cars. Earnhardt is not running nearly as well right now as Ricky Craven. He's losing about 10 car lengths in just a couple of laps there to him.
Steve Burns is in the Dale Earnhardt pit.
Yeah, Eli, you know, at the top of the show, we talked about how important tires are in this race. Well, I just talked to the tire specialist, Mike Thomas. He said on the last stop on lap 187, they took a pound out of both rear tires, a pound out of air pressure. They're getting into the corners well, but Dale is having trouble getting off the corner. Hey, let's go back now and check in with Glenn Jarrett.
The guys on down in Ricky Craven trouble with the lug nut. It dropped Ricky back, I believe, to 13th at the time, some 12 seconds behind. Right now, he is the fastest car on the racetrack. He is turning laps in the 25:30 and 25:40 range. The closest to that is Dale Jarrett at 25:60. He is a full quarter of a second faster than anybody, and you better bet that he is coming. Let's go to Dale Jarrett's pit.
Currently, Dale Jarrett is third, right ahead of Jeff Gordon, where he wants to be, trying to gain some points in the championship chase. Right now, he is complaining his car is loose in. They're already talking on the radio. Todd Parrott and DJ, what adjustments to make right now? They're talking about some air pressure. They're looking to pit somewhere around lap 250 to 255, and great three-wide action.
It was Dale Earnhardt around Kyle Petty, squeezing through and around David Green there in the cat machine, number 96.
Well, the difference that Glenn Jarrett was talking about, the leader Burton was running at that particular time 141 miles an hour, and Craven was running 143. But as they get along here, they kind of stabilize out. They're not that much quicker right at the moment. They're just 1 mile an hour quicker per lap right now.
There goes second place. Dale Jarrett swings to the inside of Hamilton. And now it's the 99 of Jeff Burton, the race leader. Jarrett in second, Hamilton third. Jeff Green in the Cartoon Network, that white number 29. He is again on the tail end of the lead lap.
Now that 88, Dale Jarrett, second place 3 times in a row here. One fellow did a little better than that, Harry Gant, second place 5 times here. Rusty's first top 5 here was a win. Gordon won in his 5th start. Dale Jarrett's got 21 starts here. 20 starts. This is the 21st. And never won so far.
Have had firsts here. Mark Martin's first Winston Cup win was here. Ward Burton's first Winston Cup win was here.
Craven's first start was here.
Right.
And Jeff Burton, they're the leader right now with 3 wins this year. I mean, he's really had a stellar year, and he and Buddy Parrott have really hit off to a great, that's his crew chief, and they have really communicate so well. And you can go in the shop there, and like you say, he's one notch below the father image as far as the drivers feel about it.
Riding with Jeff Burton. Interesting to note that if he happens to hold on to win today, his brother Ward Burton has already won here. They've become only the second set of brothers to win here at the Rock. Bobby and Donnie Allison have both won here in the past. The Waltrips as a brother tandem have not won here. And in the olden days, no brother tandem other than Bobby and Donnie Allison. So maybe you can pull it off there, Jeff. We'll have to wait and see. We're at lap 229. It is a great side-by-side battle for the lead here at Rockingham, and with Jeff Green, the 29, acting as the pit. Dale Jarrett will take over the top spot, and now Jeff Gordon in the 24 will battle Burton in the 99, and Terry Labonte in the 5 for second, third, and fourth.
Eli, the first 4 cars here, you can throw a blanket over them as they go through lap traffic. This is very, very critical right now. You can see Bobby Labonte just in front of him, fixing to go a lap down. He was running so well early in the race. Here comes DJ right now down the back straightaway. Dale Jarrett to make a move on him to put him a lap down.
So in 19th spot, Bobby Labonte now goes a lap down after leading from lap 15 through lap 74, and then again from 88 through 122. Here's a good battle for second spot. Give that battle to Gordon, holding Burton at bay. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
Sorry, guys, the 22 car's coming down pit road, Ward Burton, and we're into the 18 pit right next to him, of Bobby Labonte. And I just asked Jimmy Mako, Jimmy, what's wrong with the car? It was so strong earlier on. He shrugged his shoulders and said, man, I don't know. He said, we are really fighting it right now. We just can't seem to get a handle on it. Ward Burton is pitting off sequence. Remember, he had to pit early a while ago. In fact, about 25 or 30 laps earlier than anybody. So this is his normal scheduled pit stop from there. They have done the right sides around to the left sides now. He had a problem with a tire earlier on that got him off sequence and has put him behind in this race. He still has a pretty good race car, but he's way off sequence.
He is exactly 60 laps from when he last pitted at 176. Now pitting here at 236. So he is off sequence, but still maintaining that 60 lap measure that most everybody else has been striving for today.
I wonder how much Jarrett thinks this joint owes him. You know, he finished his last race in second spot, led the most laps. The one before that, he led the most laps, finished in second spot. 3 seconds in the Grand National cars here, leading this thing now. He probably figures this place owes him a lot.
All he's got to do is look in the mirror, though, and see what happened to him in the fall or spring of this year. So right now, the race is, everybody's kind of really seeing who has the muscle. See Terry Labonte there. Don't count him out. He's running a very clever race right now, protecting that race car and doing everything right.
And, you know, 6 times in Terry's career, he has led 100 or more laps in a race here. So another one of the guys who has all sorts of experience to show for his time at the Rock.
Boy, wouldn't that be a story if he won this thing today with Randy Dorton and his crew chief? 2 in a row for him to win. I like that guy Dorton. He's really something. You should have seen him yesterday. Not only does he build the motors for this car, not only is he the crew chief for it, yesterday he was out there cooking the hamburgers, and this morning he was driving the van, bringing a whole pile of people into this place. Full service crew chief, does it all.
You can do that when you have an Andy Graves coming over helping on the race car also.
5th and 6th you're watching right there. Bobby Hamilton and Ricky Craven around the 98 of John Andretti. John is in 33rd, 3 laps down. By the way, Ricky Rudd's back on the track after the accident of earlier. If you're following Ricky's fortunes, he's 121 laps down, but he is back on the racetrack. There goes Mark Martin to the outside of Kyle Petty. That will be for 11th position now. Well, Mark makes that move pay off. Kyle back to 12th. Then the 31, that's the lapped car of Skinner. He's in 24th, a lap down.
Still overcast here at Rockingham. But it doesn't look like it's going to rain right away, and it's kind of clear. And you look over toward the first turn, it looks pretty decent, but it's heavy overcast. And I doubt anybody's figuring this thing is going to do anything but go all the way to the end.
I think you're right. There's 6th place, Bobby Hamilton in the 43. Up front, Dale Jarrett by 4/10 of a second. Well, now it's down basically to nose to tail. In the span of turn 3 to 4, it went from 4/10 to nose to tail.
That man needs a cowboy hat.
All hail the king. We are under caution. Caution for the Gary Bradbury machine, lap 248. As we welcome you back live to the North Carolina Motor Speedway in Rockingham, the ACDelco 400 under caution for the 3rd time this afternoon. Now, over the last few moments, we have seen pit stops for Hut Strickland, for Ted Musgrave, for Kyle Petty on a normal stopping sequence, and the 41 of Steve Grissom. Here's what happened just after those teams pitted. Watch this. Already in the spin.
He'll go back up and hit the outside wall. Left front hits hard. You see the roof flaps there, they're employed. Comes around, very lucky nobody got into him as he starts down across the racetrack very slowly.
So Gary Bradbury spins in turn number 3, and here come all the teams in for service. Lap 249. Lap 249 as Bradbury goes to the back pits. We go to Matt Yoakum with Dale Jarrett.
Dale Jarrett already in. Will be a 4-tire pit stop for the 88 car. They're going up on the air pressure in the right front, down on the left rear. They're going to raise the track bar 1.5 rounds. Now, who's the guy covering the gentleman in the middle of the screen, Glenn Jarrett?
Thanks, Matt. Jeff Gordon is in. They're peeling away the windshield cover. He is 4 tires down and away. He beats Dale Jarrett down pit road. Here's Steve.
Glenn, Jeff Burton just got his service, and he's already gone. It didn't look like they make any chassis adjustments, no wedge wrenches, anything like that. A 4-tire change for Jeff Burton.
That is the back pit, remember, where Terry Labonte is pitting. And though he wasn't under a disadvantage pitting under green, under caution, it does take him a bit longer to get back there.
Exactly, Eli. You can see he's just getting out of the pits. That's the leaders going by him there. They're half a track ahead of him there.
We'll reset it all for you here in a moment or so as we work caution. Caution at lap 248. We're now at lap 250. It's an official race in Rockingham. Lap 112, Jimmy Spencer in the wall in turn number 2, bringing out our second caution of the day. Lap 214, Jeff Burton grabs the lead from Bobby Hamilton's Pontiac. At lap 235, it's Dale Jarrett who goes out in front as we are live at the Rock. Welcome back, everybody, in the North Carolina Motor Speedway in Rockingham. Jeff Gordon is the race leader. Dale Jarrett is second. NASCAR Thunder, the all-new and official stores of NASCAR, now open along sorts of spots across the country now. Chattanooga, Tennessee, getting set in Phoenix, Arizona now at the Metro Center. Mobile, Alabama, the Bel Air Mall. And they'll be opening up in Richmond, Virginia at the Chesterfield Mall. That comes up in late November. Check it out. NASCAR Thunder. Call the number you see on the screen for more information about the new and official stores of NASCAR. There is Jeff Burton. There's a story developing on the Exide Ford. Let's go to his pit.
Eli, the story is he was too fast down pit road. They're going to put him to the tail end of the lead lap. And I can tell you something, this may be a dumb statement, but he is not happy about it. In fact, we heard him over the radio say, if I was too fast, then the two cars in front of me were too fast also.
So little thought from the Jeff Burton team after a stop-and-go penalty. Time for us now to bring you the special feature brought to you by Peerless Faucets, the do-it-for-yourself faucet.
You know, time is of the essence in everything that NASCAR Winston Cup teams do to prepare their cars for battle. Lately, shock technology is one of the most important ways and the quickest ways that they can change the handling characteristics on a car. Well, how do they change those shocks so fast? Let's take a look at Mark Martin right here. You see the shock absorber? There's a bolt through the bracket here with the cotter key simply stuck in a hole that's drilled in the bolt. Very quick. There's another way that they do this too. Let's look right next door at the 88 car. They have a quick release pin. This little button on the end, you push that button, pull that pin out, they can change that shock very fast. You know, there's no question about it, as along with everything else these days, time is money.
Welcome back to the North Carolina Motor Speedway in Rockingham. We continue to work caution, third time of the afternoon after Gary Bradbury's spin in turn number 3. These fans coming back after the rain delay of a day, and they see Jeff Gordon leading the ACDelco 400. Hey, quick reminder, you might want to tell your friends and those who are busily at work this afternoon, TNN is going to be re-airing this race tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. 7 o'clock Eastern Time tonight, the ACDelco 400 will be shown again in its entirety. So those who are unable to see it here live because of the work-a-day schedule will be able to check it out a bit later on. So you might want to pass that along to your friends. 7 o'clock Eastern Time tonight, a re-air of the ACDelco 400. As we continue under caution, let's check in with the pit crews and see what's cooking down on pit road. Glenn Jarrett, what you got?
Well, guys, I'm in Kyle Petty's pit, and this is not a happy bunch. Remember, we talked about how short pitting could be an advantage with those guys were pitting every 60 laps instead of every 70 to 75 laps. They were getting fresh rubber earlier, keeping fresher rubber on the car, making up time on the racetrack. Well, Kyle Petty is paying the price for doing that. The downside to that is if you short pit and then the caution comes out right after you pit before the other guys do pit, then you lose a lap. And Kyle Petty right now is on the tail end of being 2 laps down. Also, this caution period is being extended a little bit because they're using the dryer to blow the excess tire rubber off the racetrack. Going into turn 1, there is a tremendous amount of rubber on the racetrack, builds up on the grills of the car, and they brush it off down here on pit road. Here's Matt.
Well, guys, how they battle a lot of that rubber buildup, because what happens is it increases the water temperature. A lot of crew chiefs will use just some good old cooking spray from Pam. What they do is spray it on the grill. But there's a technique. You can't spray it straight across because it will help fill in the screen. They have to spray it at an angle so the rubber hits it and bounces off, just like a lot of great chefs, crew chiefs, and a lot of secrets, too. Steve?
And Dick Trickle continuing to have a good run. He's running in 6th position right now in the 90 car. They made some adjustments on that last stop. They made a wedge adjustment and an air pressure adjustment. And the good news is, the best news of all, they don't have to use hand signals anymore. The radio communication is indeed two-way.
So that's the update from pit road. Of course, the Pam cooking stuff. Of course, if the lines are bad at the concession stands, you can eat a piece of a Goodyear tire without that buttery aftertaste. There you see what we're looking at now down the stretch run here of 1997. And looking back over the years, Rockingham, Phoenix, and Atlanta, from 93 through 96. if you want to just go by statistics, who has the edge in these final 3 races coming up? Well, win-wise, you'd look at Mark Martin, huh?
Well, you'd think that, but I tell you what, this is another year and a new race, and you see Jeff Gordon there running right up front as they come down for the green flag there. Dale Jarrett just behind him there. These guys are knifing through traffic, very fast cars. I don't think what happened 4 years ago has a thing to do with today.
Restart, Kyle Petty remaining on the tail end of 2 laps down ahead of Jeff Gordon, the race leader.
And look at Ricky Craven in that 25 car upstairs, still running toward the front. What a day he has had so far.
We are at lap 260 of 393. Still a lot of racing to go here in Rockingham.
Kyle Petty trying to prevent himself from going down yet one more lap, but Gordon is very strong right behind him. Gordon to the high side.
What a power move there by Jeff Gordon in the 24 on the outside. But he has company going down into turn 1. Dale Jarrett has reeled him in and is right on his back bumper.
Did you see Kyle bottoming out there earlier? We were talking about that earlier in the day.
Yeah.
44, you saw a lot of sparks from behind the Hot Wheels machine as Gordon will put him yet another lap down.
Yep, you sure can't tell Gordon is stroking it, huh, with that 110-point lead. He's just taking it easy, just going to cruise his way to a championship. That boy's on the gas, let me tell you.
He did not get the point lead by stroking around. He won 10 races already this year. This guy's running exactly the way you have to do to win championships. Do what you get there with.
That term not in his vocabulary.
Yeah, plus he won the Busch Clash, plus he won the Winston. I mean, that's really 12 when you count the non-points race.
Aha, Dale Jarrett's already, Dale Earnhardt in the 3 car has moved into 6th now and really doing quite well. You see Dick Trickle just in front of him there.
Hamilton 4th, Trickle 5th, Earnhardt in 6th.
Earnhardt has sorry.
I was going to say Jeff Bodine was the other car in that picture. He is now a lap down. We are used to seeing him lead earlier in the day for a couple of instances, but the QBC team now a lap down in 18th. Kyle has now gone 2 full laps down as we watch this battle right here. Jeff Gordon will put Kyle at 2nd lap careers. There you see it happening. Well, Kyle's battling back. Doesn't quite have the stuff off turn 2.
He's pretty much run the bottom all day. Craven has run the top, and the 24 Gordon has run up and down all over the place, but Kyle has tried to stick at the bottom.
That's not the point that really gets me concerned. Dale Jarrett's dropped way back here. He's moved a couple of spots back there. Ricky Craven's even passed him up. Looks like DJ's off just a little bit after whatever adjustment they did.
Let's see how it plays out here. We've got Bobby Hamilton in the 43 to challenge him for 3rd if he can get close enough. If you're a Wally Dallenbach fan, he'll make an unscheduled stop at lap 265. Wally's in 31st position. The folks from Napa bringing you timing and scoring across the top of the screen. Napa Auto Parts, they keep America running, and there's what Buddy was talking about. Dale Jarrett losing another position. Glenn, what are you hearing from your brother's pit?
Well, right now he's a little tight almost all day long, guys, on fresh tires. That car has been pretty tight, and he drops back a little bit early on in the run. Then as the rubber wears off the tires, he gets a little strong as it goes on. So in lapping these cars, he's not getting to run the exact line around the racetrack he wants to, so that's making it a little worse. However, the car is really bad right now. That's the worst that I have seen it all day. In the meantime, keep an eye on Ricky Craven. I'm telling you, he's coming. He is still the fastest car on the racetrack.
Just 9/10 of a second down to the race leader, Jeff Gordon. Boy, would there be some emotion if Ricky Craven got the victory lane.
Well, he certainly has the ability, and great race cars, and it's been a mystery that they hadn't won already. Very close in Daytona this year. The 3 cars, Hendricks were right there, and it could have been Ricky Craven as well as Jeff Gordon if they just 1 or 2 breaks.
He's got so many bizarre things happen to him. I mean, how many guys do you know have things happen to them like Ricky had happen at Dover, Delaware, for example? Stuff through the radiator, put him out of the race, and it's happened event after event after event.
This now is the battle for 4th. Trickle in the 90. He's been around the top 5 all day long. The 1989 Rookie of the Year. Trickle, who is running now in 4th spot, has finished 3rd in his career 5 times in NASCAR Winston Cup competition. Most recently at Bristol, Tennessee, in the Goodies 500 earlier this season.
Best finish here has been a 5th so far. That was in 1989.
Problems turns. Oh, Jeff Burton. Jeff Burton running in 12th. The Exide batteries forward.
We'll have a caution.
2.
That is such a shame. Put in the back of the field, trying to get back up through there. You see what happened. Whole back of the car stowed in. That's his chances because there's severe damage to the rear part where the spoiler and all is. He's pretty much done.
That's a heartbreaker for Jeff Burton, who led laps 2:14 through 2:34. Here's what happened. Oh, he and his brother. Don't know how that might have started or if Ward was just going by, but you saw Ward Burton in the 22, Jeff Burton in the 99.
The points are an issue for him, too. He came into this event 4th in points, 125 behind Jarrett, who's 3rd.
Now, Jeff Burton does come in quickly. Tony Liberati there at the back of the car. And Steve Burns, how bad is it? What are they looking at?
Well, exactly what you said, Eli. The left rear, at this point, they're not going to be able to get a gas nozzle in there. Now they're trying to jack it up to get underneath the car and pull the sheet metal away. They're also going to take the tires off. But right now, their biggest problem is they cannot even get gas in the car. Let's check in now with Glenn Jarrett.
Well, I'll move back down to Jeff Gordon's pits right now, guys. The leader has come in, and they are changing 4 tires again. They're going to take every opportunity because tire wear is so critical. Oh, a big problem on the left rear, and 2 cars beat him out. He goes out 3rd. He came in 1st. Here's Matt with the 88.
Dale Jarrett's down and away. He was complaining his car was terrible. It was big time tight. He had damage to the left front corner. The crew tried to pull it out, and it looked like they got a little bit out, but there's still plenty of damage to the left front corner of the 88 car.
The work continues. Jeff Burton brings out the caution, 4th time this afternoon. Unscheduled pit stop for Jeff Gordon. He's back in at lap 274. Glenn?
Eli, they're suspecting a problem maybe with the rear axle. They just let the car down. They pulled the axle cap off. I did not see a problem. One of the crew guys was pointing to the right side. I'll see if I can get a word with them and tell you exactly what they found out just in a moment.
Jeff had come in at lap 271 with all the leaders, but then comes back in at lap 274. Ray Evernham hits that button on the left earpiece that activates the microphone as he talks to Jeff Gordon. The overhead shot you're getting now, the camera is courtesy of Durashine Advanced Auto Polish. Just wipe it on and hose it off. Durashine, now available at Pep Boys, Western Auto, Kmart, and Target Auto stores. Let's go back now to lap 272, buddy, and ride with Jeff Burton. Let's see if we can figure out what might have happened here.
Okay, his brother's on the outside. You can see him turning in, getting a little bit loose there, going back to the right with the steering wheel. He's loose. You can see the oncoming traffic coming at him. Wham! Right into the outside wall. He was very, very lucky that nobody got into the driver's door as he slides back across the racetrack.
And there you see the remnants of the damage to the left rear. And look at Jeff Gordon from 1st to 14th after the sequencing of pit stops. Green is in the air. Ricky Craven is the race leader. Ricky Craven takes over at lap 273.
Tip of the hat to that pit crew. Craven's done a great job today, but that crew has as well.
Craven got a great jump there. Bobby Labonte was trying to get back in the lead lap and didn't quite make it. He's in the green car on the bottom there. Several cars that are a lap down. Earnhardt keeps on moving every pit stop closer to the lead.
Earnhardt is 3rd. Bobby Hamilton 2nd. And Ricky Craven the leader. If you're new to the sport, again, Craven's the 25. Hamilton is the 43.
Boy, this is important right here for Bobby Labonte. You can see him right there. Kyle Petty got a couple of laps down. He would love to get back. Here comes Bobby Labonte to get back in the lead lap.
He's 15th right now, but back on the tail end of the lead lap. So Bobby Labonte, if he can catch a caution now, we've had 4 of them already today, he'd be able to come back on around. We're at lap 278 of 393. As you see now, compliments of MCI, NASCAR timing and scoring, and the lap countdown there in the upper left-hand corner of your screen.
Hamilton Hamilton following basically the same line that Craven is setting. Both going to run upstairs.
You see Kyle Petty getting by Hamilton there. He is a couple of laps down, but he's trying very hard to make up one lap. You're never out of the race when you have a fast car.
Kyle is in 23rd. Jeff Gordon, meanwhile, still way back there. You see the 24 machine. He is running back in 14th spot. Glenn, what are they saying now?
Well, guys, as I said, they were taking the axle cap off. The reason was it was about to come off. They ran the set screws the rest of the way out to see if they could see a problem. They didn't, so they put the cap back on. They don't know how much rear end grease he might have lost, though, Matt.
Dale Jarrett sustained some front-end damage to his left front fender. Just a little bit bent up. He made some contact with Dick Trickle on his way down pit road for his last stop. The crew looked it over. There shouldn't be anything serious. And also, as far as Mark Martin, he said if he can get his car to run great after 25 lap runs, they will definitely be there. Right now, his car is stellar within 25 laps, and then it tends to go away. Steve Burns?
Matt, Dick Trickle came into that last pit stop in 4th position. They lost 3 valuable positions. He's now 7th. They had 2 lug nuts fall off the left front wheel. So Dick Trickle now running 7th.
And the car in front of Dick in the 90, the 42, that's Joe Nemechek, and he is on the lead lap running in 6th. Earnhardt just ahead of them in 5th. And yes, your screen does not deceive you. The least little hint of sun trying to peek through the heavy overcast here in Rockingham.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, I read about it in the history book.
We have not seen that almost since we arrived here. And that's going to change the setups a bit, too. Some of the guys who are running fast right now, when the track warms up a little bit, they may not.
13th place, the battle you're watching.
You see Jeff Gordon there going by on the outside car very, very quick. He does not need that lower line to go by these race cars. He passes Ernie Irvin there, who's running 11th.
And there you see they have the Exide batteries forward on pit road. The engine, I am told, is off, Steve.
Eli, it is in fact shut off. What you cannot see is Jeff Burton. When he came in, cut the motor off, he slammed the steering wheel in disgust. These guys are just wanting to win so badly. Let's go down to Glenn Jarrett.
Well, Steve, is a further update, and guys in the booth, as to what Jeff Gordon is having to go through right now. He's having to run the car a whole lot harder in a different groove than what he wants to. He's having to really abuse the tires, so he's not going to have much left for the end of this run. So getting buried back there in traffic is really, really going to be detrimental to him later on in his run, because he's burning rubber off right now trying to get back to the front.
Glenn, you're exactly right. And the other thing he has to worry about is this, what you're looking at. These guys are racing for position right here, and he comes up. He does not have a clean racetrack, and he has to use the high line one lap, the low line the next lap, and then slide in between lap traffic. So, man, I tell you, he's working hard right now.
Yeah, you saw Sterling Marlin, the 4 in that last shot. He's still on the lead lap. That's the battle for the lead. Ricky Craven, he's led a good bit today. Bobby Hamilton, the 43, he has led a good bit today. Mark Martin's 3rd, Dale Jarrett 4th, Earnhardt is 5th, Joe Nemechek running 6th, Dick Trickle next in line. Still a lot of racing to go. Welcome back. That's the spread for the lead. Ricky Craven left of your screen. Bobby Hamilton on the right. 4/10 of a second on the clock is what that equates to. You've got Mark Martin quietly in 3rd. Dale Jarrett rumbling again in 4th. Dale Earnhardt is 5th. Dick Trickle 6th. Terry Labonte is 7th. Joe Nemechek is 8th. Michael Waltrip 9th. And Sterling Marlin, a solid top 10 run as you ride with Mark Martin here in Rockingham.
Mark is so smooth. I mean, he moves in kind of like Terry Labonte. He just surprises you. I looked up, and all of a sudden he's in 4th place. You can see very steady going in the corner. No arm movement whatsoever. The car rides right around the base of the racetrack. Mark Martin's doing just exactly what he wants to do at this part of the race.
And you saw those lap speeds on that graphic moments ago of 150 miles an hour. Now you're looking at a 144, 143, 142 miles an hour.
Look at Dale Jarrett, though. He's picked it up. He's turned it up another notch. He was having problems just a little while ago, but you can see now this set of tires suits his car, and he's moving towards the front.
And there we are moving to the front as well. That was the interval from 4th and 5th back to the race leaders.
And if you like stories of underdogs, there's a good story for you right there. Your leader has never won a Winston Cup race. Guy in 2nd spot has only won one of them.
He won Pontiac's last win in Phoenix a year ago.
Sure did. almost won here in February 1996.
Remember that one?
I sure do.
Right here on TNN Motorsports.
And that crew remembers it too, I'll guarantee you.
Well, we go back to February of '96 and refresh your memory, and let's take a look at it when Bobby Hamilton and Dale Earnhardt were battling for the lead.
Hamilton in the lead, Earnhardt in second spot. Oh! That's exactly what happened back in '96. We all said the same thing.
That was the soundtrack from '96.
And Hamilton wound up a DNF that day.
Yeah, he ended up going up into the wall later in the day and so on. But that was a year and a half ago, almost 2 years back. Now he's trying to pick up a victory again here at the Rock. You know, you were talking during the commercial break, Dick Berger. I don't want to let a comment go by that without a mention here. You talked about how great it is coming back to this racetrack. With all due respects to the palaces of speed that are being built in all the corners of this country, this is a great racetrack.
I'm telling you, if you want to see a really good stock car race, here's a good place to come, because year after year, event after event, and it doesn't matter whether it's the Busch Grand National on Saturday, the Winston Cup on Sunday. You come to Rockingham, you're going to have a great time. You're going to see a great race. I think that's one of the reasons all of these people in the grandstands, and by the way, we're sorry they're not at work today, but that's why they all came back here today, despite the awful forecast and standing around in the rain all day yesterday.
That's 9th place there. 8th and 9th are Nemechek and Gordon. Jeff Burton is back on the racetrack again. He is some 23 laps down. But they have effected repairs to the Exide machine as Gordon tries to grab 8th spot away from Joe Nemechek.
Tremendous move. Right in the middle of the corner, Gordon just turned left, accelerated off the corner. Now he's a car length ahead of Joe Nemechek.
Bodine, 21, Michael Waltrip. Waltrip is on the lead lap. Bodine is a lap down in 17th. Meanwhile, there goes Dick Trickle to the high side of Earnhardt. That is for 5th.
Clear. That's Jenny right there. Clear.
Rusty Wallace there in the 2, if you're just joining us, hasn't really been a huge factor today. He went 3 laps down and is running in 25th position. 5, Terry Labonte. He's in 7th. Steve Burns, I know you've been hanging around Dick Trickle's pit today. That was a heck of a power move.
That sure was, Eli. And, you know, let's put some perspective on Dick Trickle's career here. His very first Winston Cup race was the Daytona 500 in 1970. Jeff Gordon wasn't born until 1971, so the guy's been around a long time.
Dick Trickle from Wisconsin, Rapids, Wisconsin. Indeed, he has been around a long time.
Run your line, Dick. Don't worry about it. He's not in the lead lap.
$1,415 in that 1970 Daytona 500.
And I've heard speculation that he's probably won 1,574 races in his life also.
I believe.
He's one of the winningest drivers ever from the Midwest.
This car has been around for a little while, too. Junie Donlavey's 73 years old. This is his 741st start for Junie Donlavey. One win. 741 tries.
You know some of the guys that Dick Trickle has driven for as we watch him there going around the lap machine of Rusty Wallace. He drove for himself. He drove for Buddy Ward. I remember the name. He drove for Dave Marcus, for Del Puro, for Joe Frissone. Joe fielded a car for Dick back in 1977. Billy Matthews, Bill Gardner.
Junior Johnson.
Yeah, the Stavolas. He drove for Kale. Raymond.
Run your line. Run your line.
Who else?
Everybody. Let's just throw everybody in there and say he drove for him one time.
And if you want a guy who can win races, in 1972, Trickle won 67 of them.
Play all around.
67 in 1 year.
And he really is about as nice as they come.
Yeah, yeah. Good guy. Earnhardt sliding back. He's gotten up as far as 3rd, dropping back.
Eli, as you can see, just behind Earnhardt, Gordon fought his way back into contention again. I mean, when you have to give up that much track position, he's had to really abuse his tires, though, to get back to where he's at right now. I would imagine near the end of this gas run, he's going to have a pretty hard time of hanging on to that 24.
Now let's get to caution. That's about what's going to happen, though, huh, buddy? Those tires have got to be cooked. what he's done.
Well, you can see right there. I mean, he's having to run at least, well, I'm looking on the computer. He's running 141 on that particular lap. Earnhardt was 141, but he has been as high as 143, 144 catching up.
Back up front, there is Ricky Craven. 1 2/10 seconds ahead of Bobby Hamilton. What does 1 2/10 translate to on the racetrack? There it is. From the left of your screen to right there, Bobby Hamilton. Matt Yoakum.
The last time Bobby Hamilton went to victory lane was here on TNN back in Phoenix last October. This car has never scored a win. It's not the car he took to victory back in Phoenix, but this car is awful special to the Petty Enterprise bunch. This is the first complete in-house built race car at Petty Enterprises since the mid-70s. Dale Inman told me he couldn't even remember the last time they built their own car complete, but following the trends of the Hendricks and the Rouches, they too realized the benefits of an in-house chassis program, and next year they're hoping to have the 43 completely under Petty Enterprise chassis.
Richard Petty and the team out of Randleman Level Cross, North Carolina. Good battle there. Nemechek to the high side of Bill Elliott. They're battling for 12th and 13th, with Bill holding that position right now. I like that paint job on Nemechek's car.
So do I. It's brand new, and they're going to run it till the end of the year. And quite frankly, I think it's gorgeous.
They had a little press conference early this week about that thing, and Nemechek said that he really liked it because he hoped people would confuse him with Earnhardt. They'd see him coming in the rearview mirror, move over, let him go. I haven't seen any of that yet today, but maybe it'll happen sometime.
Well, yeah, Nemechek doesn't need folks to move over. He's that good, as well we have seen. There he works around some of the lap cars. Ted Musgrave, the number 16, pitting on the backstretch. He's in 33rd, some 4 laps down. And here goes Dick Trickle in 5th and Terry Labonte in 6th. Earnhardt right behind in 7th.
Run your line. Don't worry about it. Run your line.
The Iceman cometh in the 5 car there.
Yep.
312 laps on the board here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway. 82 laps to go. Craven is the race leader. 13 teams are still on the lead lap. Those in the garage are Jimmy Spencer, Rick Mast, and Gary Bradbury. Of the 43 starters, 40 are still running. That's the battle for 5th. There is the man who is the race leader, Ricky Craven, showing the way here at Rockingham.
My ancestor dreamt of Christmas.
Welcome back. Ricky Craven continues to lead the ACDelco 400. The overhead cameras today, courtesy of Durashine Advanced Auto Polish. Just wipe it on and hose it off. Durashine, now available at Pep Boys, Western Auto, Kmart, and Target Auto Stores. Where are you going to be December 8th through 12th? I'm going to be on the NASCAR Family Cruise. We'd love to see you there, too. All sorts of drivers, crew chiefs, NASCAR officials. It benefits the NASCAR Winston Cup Racing Wives Auxiliary. Call the number you see on the screen, 1-888-491-4950. Key West and Cozumel, Mexico, the ports of call. That is Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon battling 7th and 8th spot. Gordon's got it going off into turn number 1. Crowd just looking on here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway, waiting to see how this one unfolds. All the crowd you see here, those pictures were recorded yesterday. All those people are really at work and at school. Not true, folks. They're all at work and at school today. No, seriously, look at all the folks who have come back to join us here on Monday. You're not going to find a heartier bunch of fans than those who have outlasted all the weather here at the Rock this weekend. It's a tribute to the NASCAR fans. Great to have you folks along here on TNN. Don't forget a replay of this race. It'll be shown again in its entirety, re-aired at 7 o'clock Eastern time this evening. So those who couldn't enjoy it here live will be able to see it tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern time, a re-air of the ACDelco 400 right here on TNN Motorsports.
Keep waiting for Earnhardt to get right up front. He led 8 Rockingham races in a row from February 93 to October 96. He did not lead here in February. He has not led here yet today. And Gordon has just put him away.
Hasn't won, of course, since March of last year.
56 races.
Yep. Year later, 500.
Well, these two have been battling side by side. You see Dick Trickle in the black car, the 90 there. Terry Labonte in the 5. They had a war there for about 10 laps side by side. Terry Labonte kind of backed out of it, said, let me cool my tires, and I'll come back up there and give you another try at it in a few seconds.
And they are running 5th and 6th, respectively, here at lap 327 of 393. Just tuning in, only Jimmy Spencer, Rick Mast, and Gary Bradbury are done for the day. Ricky Rudd was behind the wall earlier. He is back now, 121 laps down. We've had 4 caution flags. The first one on lap number 2 for rain. Then Jimmy Spencer and Ricky Rudd left angle at lap 112. Gary Bradbury spin at lap 248. Jeff Burton in the wall of turn 2 at lap 272. We've had a grand total of 35 caution laps today. Many of those were in that very first caution period for the rain shower that fell here at the Rock. We've got a number of lead changes today. Most recently, Jeff Gordon yielding at 272 to Ricky Craven, who took the lead. He has now held the top spot to the moment where we sit at lap 329.
So Nemechek fits as we watch Terry Labonte in the number 5 car. Fun to watch him. I mean, no matter what, Terry Labonte is just so smooth, and he's always in the action. He's won here on 2 separate occasions, 2 different crew chiefs. One in 1983 with Dale Inman, and 1986 with Steve Meal. He runs this racetrack extremely well. Also has won in Busch Grand National here.
Told you Joe Nemechek pitting. He's 58 laps since his last pit stop, so he's due here shortly. You see the spread, Craven and Jarrett starting to narrow up just a bit, just 1 1/10 seconds.
Eli, seems to be a trend. Jarrett does not run as well after pit stops for about 15-20 laps. Then the car kind of stabilizes, runs the same, and then near the end of the pit stop run, he gains back on Craven. Craven's car not quite as quick right near the end of a long run.
I wonder if he's got that soft spring setup you talked about earlier in the race, brother.
I'm sure they all do. I tell you what, anymore, you wouldn't believe the springs they run in these cars. They're very soft, and the shock system on the car is very, very delicate on these cars.
Here's 7th and 8th spots swapping around as Gordon went way high. Earnhardt takes 7th. Gordon is back in 8th. Ernie is in 24th. The 28 car, he is now a couple of laps down in 24th. Not in the equation here, but obviously running with Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon.
You know, Eli, we talked just a little while ago, what would it cost Gordon to run that hard that early in the run, and all of a sudden it looked like he hit a brick wall there. He's able to keep up, but he's not running like Jeff Gordon run all day when he was up front. Track position means so much in one of these races.
Bobby Hamilton, you see, in for service, lap 332. Kyle Petty is also in for a stop at lap 332. All of this under green. Now on the normal 60-lap sequencing, Glenn, this ought to be it for everybody.
Well, yeah, it should. If we go green the rest of the way, Eli, everybody will have to make one stop, starting with this right here. I'm interested to see what some of these teams are going to do about maybe only putting 2 tires on. They're only going to have about 30, 40 laps when the rest of the cars come in. I just want to see what they're going to do with Kyle Petty's down. He only changed right side. Here comes Dale Jarrett. Let's see what they do.
Dale Jarrett still coming down pit road, eases into his pit box. The 88 bunch go to work. This will be a 4-tire pit stop for Dale Jarrett. He said his car was still a little bit tight, but he was picking up on the 25 car. His car had not fallen off as much as the other cars. Now run to the left side. Now let's go to Glenn Jarrett, who's with the 24 car.
And Jeff Gordon brought the DuPont Chevrolet in. There's going to be a track bar adjustment. They're on the right side. Now that Dale Jarrett has set the stage, I believe most of them are going to have to go with 4 tires. They're around to the left side of Gordon right now. The adjustment has been made. Left sides are gone. His tires were gone. Jeff is down and away. Here's Steve Burns.
And Dick Trickle's in, their most important pit stop of the day. This is also going to be a 4-tire change. Glenn, you said Jeff Gordon made a track bar adjustment. No chassis adjustments on the 90 to this point. Tommy Baldwin changes the rear tires. No problem getting off the rear. Now let's go to Matt Yoakum in the 6th pit.
The Valvoline Ford is down and away. They have worked themselves back into position. He was as far back as 12. They have worked on this car. He was a tad tight. They loosened him up with some air pressure adjustments, and now they hope they have the setup to take them to the finish.
All of these stops are under green. Remember, 25 Craven has not stopped. 24 Gordon has. So Jeff Jeff will now get around and return to the lead lap. Again, everybody is now cycling around. So here comes Terry Labonte. He and Ricky Craven battling. Hendrick Motorsports teammates right there.
Terry just come out of the pits on the back straightaway and rejoined the fray there. You can see the difference in new tires. Boy, I mean, it makes a big difference. Craven right now needs to make a stop. He's dropping back.
Right, the 3 has stopped. Earnhardt, the 37, Mayfield, he has stopped. Steve Burns keeping an eye on Bill Elliott on pit road.
And Bill Elliott did make a chassis adjustment to the right rear. 4 tires. They're having a bit of a problem on the left front, it looks like. Now he's gone. 4 tires for Bill Elliott.
And here comes Ricky Craven. This is lap 338, so clearly they can go the distance from here, Glenn, on this stop.
Yes, they can, Eli. Craven's crowd comes out across the wall now, and I believe this is only going to be a 2-tire stop. They made a chassis adjustment to the left rear of the car. Now they're up with the left side tires on the wall now. I thought maybe he might try to slipper him a little bit, but there's too much time left in this race to try anything fancy. He has the fastest car right now. I think they can keep it that way. That's right, he's down and away. And 18.2, that's a great pit stop under the gun.
So the race leader now cycling on around. Dale Jarrett working through traffic. Pit stops continuing for others late at Rockingham. TNN Motorsports live coverage of the ACDelco 400 is being brought to you by ACDelco Automotive Parts. ACDelco, it's like buying time. Dale Jarrett is the race leader here at Rockingham, leading for the 5th time today. Here's what the critics are saying about TNN Motorsports video game, Hardcore 4x4 for the Sony PlayStation and the Sega system. They're saying if you're a racer and you like games, you've got to check out TNN Motorsports Hardcore 4x4. You'll see fenders crunching, wheels busting, and doors flying off. They say the game gets so real, you'll have to scrape the mud off your TV. For more information about TNN Motorsports Hardcore 4x4, check out TNN's website, www.country.com. Welcome back to the Rock. We're at lap 346 of 393. 13 teams remaining on the lead lap. Dale Jarrett, Bobby Hamilton, Ricky Craven in 3rd, 5 seconds back. Mark Martin's 4th, Jeff Gordon 5th, Terry Labonte is 6th, Dick Trickle 7th, Dale Earnhardt is 8th, Sterling Marlin 9th, Joe Nemechek is 10th, Michael Waltrip 11th, super run for Robert Presley. He is in 12th, and Bill Elliott in 13th. Those 13 teams are currently on the lead lap. Ricky Craven, let's analyze it as we watch Jeff Gordon running in 5th. Ricky Craven has led twice today for 137 laps. Folks, remember, right now he's 5 seconds down to the leader. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
Well, guys, remember we talked about how hard Jeff Gordon was having to push the car the last time when he came out way back in the pack. This is the right front tire that came off. You may not be able to see these wear bars here, but as you go across from outside to inside here, the inside of that tire is completely worn out. That's why he had to pit and pit in a hurry. He really used those tires up. Steve?
Well, Glenn, we've been following the progress of Dick Trickle. He's had a great run this afternoon. Now, their last pit stop was very solid. They are not having spectacular pit stops, but that is a big improvement for this team. And we mentioned crew chief Tommy Baldwin. They're frustrated, and that's a good sign because that means they're improving. Now let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Dale Jarrett currently showing the way. Right now, Todd Parrott and DJ talking on the radio. They said, look, we remember what happened here back in February. We dominated this place, but we didn't search around to make sure we had the best line. Gordon came up high and blew by us and took the victory. So right now, they are searching to make sure they're using the best line on the speedway.
Let's take a look at how Dale Jarrett has done over the last 3 Rockingham races, and he really is on a roll. An average finish of 2nd. He has led 46 for nearly 50% of the laps that have been run here. And maybe today's the day that he'll get to victory lane here at the Rock. He's not won here. Sterling Marlin's not won here. Ricky Craven's not won here. Schrader's never won here. Ernie Irvin A lot of top names haven't won here.
But you know, Jarrett has come on so strong so recently. In his first 18 starts here, he only led 11 laps in the last 2 races going into today. He led 530 laps. He got this place figured out in a hurry.
Let's go back to pit road, Glenn Jarrett.
Well, guys, I'm standing looking at the computer on the computer screen in Jeff Gordon's pit that gives out the time that the cars are running. And the thing that I see right now is Ricky Craven is almost 0.3 of a second a lap quicker than Dale Jarrett. Bobby Hamilton is about 1,500, so 10th to 1,500 quicker. As we've been telling you all day, Jarrett's car is a little tight early in the run. Then as it goes on, it begins to free up a little bit, and he makes up some of that ground. But they're on fresh tires right now, and Ricky Craven is coming in a hurry again. There's only, 30-some laps left in the race. It's going to be a question whether Dale Jarrett can hold these guys off if their tires hold up.
Right now, exactly 40 laps. It'll be 39 when they get to the straight this time by.
Of course, the other question is whether Jarrett is just being cool and just being conservative. I mean, if you've got a 2-second lead out here at this point, why not? Let the rest of the guys eat their tires up. Let them try to catch you and then go race for it.
And then there's always the intangible. Might we still have a caution flag before this one is done? Don't leave us. We're closing in on the finish of the ACDelco 400. Welcome back to Rockingham, and don't forget, folks, we're all heading to Phoenix next weekend. We'll be there. TNN Motorsports will. We'd love to see you also on Wednesday. Day after tomorrow, Ricky Rudd will be signing autographs at the new NASCAR Thunder store in Phoenix from 5 until 7 o'clock local time. It's at the Metro Center. Then on Thursday, Video PM Race Day will be originating from NASCAR Thunder at the Metro Center in Phoenix. So do check it out. The newest location of NASCAR Thunder, the official store of NASCAR, at the Metro Center, Phoenix, in the Valley of the Sun. We'll see you out there later this week. With Dick Bergman and Buddy Baker, Glenn Jarrett, Matt Yoakum, Steve Burns, I'm Eli Gold. There's Ricky Craven making the move around second spot. So he'll take that spot from Bobby Hamilton. That's very much a part of the plan. But now, what's going through the mind of Dale Jarrett? Is he going flat out right now? Is he just kind of nursing those tires with 31 laps to go? What?
Well, one thing he's getting a readout of what everybody's doing is chasing him. They're calling him on the radio and saying, listen, so-and-so's running maybe a mile an hour faster than you. He's saying, okay, I'm not putting everything into it right now. I have a little bit in reserve. I'm sure right now they're communicating back and forth. Dale Jarrett knows as much about the people coming up on him as we do.
There you see a good Dale Earnhardt-Sterling Marlin battle right there. Meanwhile, Jeff Gordon has just gotten around Mark Martin 3 wide with Wally Dallenbach, the 46. He's not battling for that position, but he certainly was in the mix for real estate.
Yeah, Ward Burton was right up into the wall on that same lap. He almost caught the wall right up next to him.
That is 8th and 9th. Earnhardt and Sterling Marlin. 30 laps to go. Been a pretty good race today.
Really has. There's something going on all the way around the racetrack. There's a lot of positions being fought for that are not necessarily the lead, but they're interesting to watch. Sterling Marlin there in the 4 car has been trying to get by Earnhardt for the longest of time.
On problems on the racetrack, that is Greg Sachs in the 40. Caution. Caution. He is pulled off the track. He is not going to be able to continue. Caution for Greg Sachs. And now this is going to be interesting.
Eli, this changes everything. This brings everybody right nose to tail. I tell you what, we're going to have a tremendous race from here to the finish.
So Greg Sachs stops on the racetrack. Rodney Wise, favorite son of Delaware, brings out the caution flag.
And another flag, the one you see just to the right of Sachs, means the pits are closed. So as long as Sachs sits there, that flag will stay out, and no one can legally make their pit stop. Are we getting the green one? No.
Now let's speculate. You think he'll dart in, get 2 right side tires now?
Well, we're about to find out.
Pits are now open. Here they come.
Well, this is where the crew chiefs earn their money. What do you do? 2, 4, or none?
Well, you don't do none because you don't need to stop for fuel. Let's go to Matt.
Dale Jarrett in his pit box. They will make a chassis adjustment. They're talking the radio. 1.5 rounds of bite out of the left rear. You can see the crew member go go to work with their wedge wrench. They're onto the left side tires. 4 tires stop for Dale Jarrett. Now let's go to Glenn Jarrett in Ricky Craven's pit.
And this caution is exactly what Ricky Craven wanted to see, because they definitely know, oh, it's a drag race down pit road. Dale Jarrett beats him. But this is going to play into Ricky Craven's advantage, because he is 2/10 to 3/10 a second a lap quicker than Dale Jarrett on new rubber. Steve?
And Bobby Hamilton had a clean stop, Glenn. 4 tires, no chassis adjustments, 4 tires for Bobby Hamilton.
There you see Terry Labonte on the back pits. He's running in 5th. He's in the attention of the Kellogg's team. The Burger King bunch waiting for Steve Park to come along. He's running in 34th. Park is 6 laps down. Now all the teams that are a lap down come onto the pit lane for service under caution for the 5th time today. Coming up Friday here on TNN's Motor Madness, the Pennzoil World of Outlaws will be in high gear. It's Halloween night, and they'll be treating everybody to some great sprint car racing in the Action Performance Western World Championship. It's TNN Motor Madness, Friday night at 8, right here on TNN Motorsports. To the pits, Glenn Jarrett.
Well, guys, we went to check in with Ray Evernham and Jeff Gordon, and this is a caution flag that they wanted to see as well. Gave him one more chance to put fresh rubber on the car. He's better on fresh rubber, much better than some of the cars he's been racing with. So they did 4 tires, no chassis adjustment. Here's Matt.
An update on Mark Martin. He currently now is 5th after that round of pit stops. They made a track bar adjustment and 4 tires. Steve Mill told me right now on our mind points, because we don't think we have anything for Dale Jarrett or Ricky Craven. We've got that 24 car right ahead of us in 4th.
And Dick Trickle, Matt, they are going to go for it. They made an adjustment to tighten him up, so they have nothing to lose. They're up there running 6th. They're going to go for it.
So we're set to go back to green. Getting set to go back green.
Let's rock and roll best you can, man. Get ready, get ready, get ready, green, get ready, green, 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 green. Green, 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 green.
Fathers and crew chiefs all have their own styles, but they get the message across as we are back under green, green, green at lap 371.
Ricky Craven has shown a lot of muscle on restarts. He seems to be quicker than Dale Jarrett on, say, 2nd, 3rd, 4th lap. And right now I expect him to go up there and really put a challenge on for the lead.
The best Craven has ever done this late in a Winston Cup race. This is his best shot to win in his entire career, right here.
Dale Elliott in 12th. Ahead of him, Lake Speed in 16th. Trying to find some place to run. Mike Skinner in the 31. Jeff Green the 29.
Skinner with a bent up nose with a tire on pit road.
Whatever Kyle Petty's been dragging, it must be made out of some good stuff. It's still dragging.
Here's 5th place. Dick Trickle's got it. Mark Martin back to 6th.
Clear, kick his ass. Come on with it now. All around.
Sometimes pockets just don't do it. Here we go. Look at this down the front straightaway. How would you like your $100,000 going down in there like that? Wow.
You know, a lot of these cars are running their last race today. Roush, for example, has got 44 cars. They're only going to reskin 4 of them. All the rest are going to be sold off.
Meanwhile, up front, Ricky Craven is right on the rear deck of Jarrett.
You notice, though, Jarrett's turned it up a notch or 2 right here. He's not falling back as quickly as he did before. Bobby Hamilton just behind these 2. Here comes Craven on the inside, Eli.
This is for the lead with 18 laps to go.
Wow.
Craven got him. Here Hamilton, can he grab 2nd?
You see Hamilton there in the 43. He's coming up under DJ also. Now, one thing they do have, there is a little bit of draft, but look at Hamilton. He has the position going into turn 1.
Andy Graves atop the war chest looking on.
Graves 27 years old, Craven 31 years old. This is a team with youth. Graves has never won as a crew chief, came on in this race.
Bobby Hamilton like a rocket down into turn 3 there. This car is flying, Eli. He comes off turn 4, looks on the outside of Craven as they head down into turn 1.
And as we have seen in every race since New Hampshire, again, a Chevy, a Pontiac, and a Ford battling the top 3 spots, and it is Hamilton who wants the lead.
How about this?
Wow.
He won the last you see him taking a different line. He goes up a little bit. Craven comes back to the inside.
First time since lap 213 that Bobby Hamilton has been in front.
I got to believe that Craven just didn't let him by at this point. If he had anything for Hamilton, he would have done everything he possibly could to have held him back.
Bobby Hamilton leaving this car at the end of the year. Man, I tell you, it'd be tough for me to leave a race car that was this good, but Bobby Hamilton moving on. What a great ride for somebody, though. Look at this car handle.
Although the rumors are getting louder and louder that Petty Enterprises is within a week or so of naming a new driver for next year. But that's a story for later. Let's just stay with this battle for the lead and for the win. Craven's never won in Winston Cup racing. That man Hamilton has won only one race last October the 27th in Phoenix. Right here on TNN.
Mark Martin trying to get back by Dick Trickle as they head down into turn one. Using the low line. Trickle goes up. You can see Martin able to stay lower on the racetrack.
And today is the last race for this car. Same one that won at Dover. They're not going to reskin it. They're going to dump it. It's going to be a show car. Pretty darn nice show car.
Yeah. 13 laps to go.
You see that little adjustment. Mark Martin's car just a little bit loose as they come by the start finish, and Mark Martin was just a little bit ahead. Trickle pulls back in front again.
Bobby Labonte, the 18, who led earlier and dominated, is now in 12th.
You clear, baby.
Clear, baby. Yes,
The distinctive Richmond, Virginia accent from the Junie Donlevy crew exhorting Dick Trickle on.
Boy, I tell you what, 11 laps to go, and these guys are going at it. And I'm sure Mark Martin's sitting there saying, man, I need these points right now. Needs to get by Trickle. Trickle having a great run today. Does not want to give it up.
18 car you keep seeing in your picture, that's Bobby Labonte. He was the pole sitter, but he's down a lap.
10 laps to go. Mark Martin, he's 6th. The 3, Dale Earnhardt, he's in 9th. The 77, Robert Presley, he's in 14th. Then the battle for position there, the 5, Terry Labonte, the 42, Joe Nemechek. That's the battle for 7th and 8th.
Labonte got hurt on that last round of pit stops, went in 5th, came out 8th.
Up front, still 7/10 of a second for Bobby Hamilton. For that man, Richard Petty, who has 11 victories as a driver here at the Rock. And Petty Enterprises, as a result, with 11 victories to their credit.
You see, he has 2 stopwatches, one in his left hand, one in the right. He's timing second place with one, his car with the other.
Doesn't have that Charlie one-horse cowboy hat in place today, but right now he doesn't mind.
Hamilton brought 2 cars here to test. Other one was a bit faster, but they didn't think this one was going to qualify well. They knew it was going to be fast in the race as such, so that's the one they brought.
And there's first to second. You saw the interval. Ricky Craven. Andy Graves looking on.
Dale Jarrett's car is kicked in now. He's starting to run well, but he dropped so much as far as track position, I don't think he has time to catch up.
Again, Trickle and Martin, 5th and 6th.
Valuable points for Mark Martin. Dick Trickle for a great finish. So, hey, this is going to be a race right down to the finish.
All 3 of those guys in the points battle
Still there.
right up in the money.
Run your line, run your line. He can't get you on the bottom. He can't get you.
Talking to Dick Trickle.
Tell me, just run your line. Don't worry about him. That's easy enough to say from up here.
Yeah, or if you're the spotter, try it behind the wheel.
He's right up here, yeah.
Try it behind the wheel.
Clear, but he's going to be coming right back. He's going to burn them tires up down there. Just hold on to him. Hold on to him.
No change up front. Actually, Hamilton is pulling away now by a second second and 2/10. That's why we're staying with this battle. And there's nobody between Hamilton and Craven, so we'll stay right here.
Jarrett still third.
He's clear, but he's coming back.
Yeah, you're clear, but don't go down there.
With 3 to go, there's no race up front right now, so this is the best thing going on. The only thing that Dale Jarrett has moved a little closer to Craven, but I don't think he has enough time.
It is 1 3/10 seconds now from Hamilton to Craven.
Good job. Just hang on to him now. Hang on to him, baby. He's coming back, but we're going to whip him. We're going to whip him.
This is for 5th place. Glenn Jarrett.
Well, guys, Craven's not going to have anything at all for Hamilton. He's pulling away. Ricky's car has picked up a push. First time all day he's been tight. Absolute worst time for him. He had a great car all day, but if nothing happens, this one's going to belong to Bobby Hamilton. Craven's just too tight.
And there is Hamilton. There is Craven and Jarrett. White flag is in the air. This is the last time around the 1.017-mile layout.
Look at Jarrett. He's picking the throttle up there. Gets a little bit sideways. Craven gets a little run off the corner there on the 88. This is for second place as they head down into turn 3.
Hamilton is the leader. Career start number 91. Craven won't win. Hamilton will. Jarrett second. Craven comes across third. And yes, hold him off. He won't be able to get you, they told Trickle. Trickle does hold off. Martin, let's go to Robbie Loomis down in the STP pits.
And Eli, he just got the Gatorade bath. Robbie, what a great victory for you guys. Great win today.
I'm going to tell you what, we never give up on one another, and Bobby's one heck of a race car driver. He made the decision to bring this car, and it was a little slower than our other car in the test, but it stayed under him all day. He's one heck of a man. This team, the guys at the shop, 44 crowd, everything's working great, and we got to keep her going.
Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
A super victory for Bobby Hamilton, who led earlier from lap 196 to 213, does the ceremonial spin out. We'll talk to him in a moment.
On Sundays.
Well, Bobby Hamilton has made an extra lap around the track. He was waving at the fans, and a big old smile for the man from Nashville, Tennessee. Big victory for Bobby Hamilton, closing in on 200 career starts, victory number 2. And you're right, the ironic thing, buddy, is that he's leaving that team at season's end.
Great race car. Bobby Hamilton, a great driver. You know, whoever gets this car has got a winner. It's proven here today.
Indeed. And we talked about Pontiac and how well they do at Rockingham. It's been a storyline throughout our rain delay yesterday and again this morning. 10 times now in the last 20 races, Pontiac has won here at the Rock. Let's go down to Victory Lane. Glenn, it's all yours.
Well, I'm going to wait till they get through high-fiving because they're liable to slap me. Bobby, great job there. You got that last caution you needed. You'd fallen back to third, but boy, did they find the right set of tires for that last run.
Well, we had been pretty good on short runs anyhow, and we lose a little bit, and that's just the opposite for us, Glenn. But had to get a drink. It got hot out there. But, excuse me. But he told me, he said, you're faster than anybody on new tires, buddy. He said, go get them right there at the end. I was concerned about the 25 car, but I guess his strong point was long runs, too. But I knew we had a good car for short runs.
He got a little tight there at the end. At the top of our show, we talked about how well Pontiacs do here, and you chose this particular Pontiac to come to this racetrack. What was better about this car than your others?
We had a brand new car the guys did at the shop, and it was 2/10 quicker than this on qualifying runs, but we kept making race runs with the two of them, and this one beat it about 5 or 6 seconds in a long run. So me and the worm, Robbie, we said, what are we going to do? We said, we're going to bring the one that races good. And it looks like we made the right decision. You know, this car right here is a car that Richard Petty Driving School built. We run it at Dover, his first race there, and just want to tell them guys they did a good job on his awesome race car.
Well, congratulations, you guys. We'll let you celebrate Bobby Hamilton. Second victory almost a year later, right here on TNN.
You gotta like it right there. True emotion in Victory Lane, and there's the king having climbed down off the throne. He's in Victory Lane enjoying it. Again, Rockingham, and again the bridesmaids roll for Dale Jarrett. But nevertheless, second is darn good. Let's hear from Dale in the garage.
For the 4th straight time, Dale Jarrett comes home second here at the Rock. DJ, racing's full of woulda, coulda, shouldas, but what would have happened if you had 7 more laps?
Oh, I might have could have got to Bobby, but we want to congratulate those guys. They did a terrific job. You know, they were more set up for short sprints, and it worked to their advantage. I told Todd when the caution came out, I said, we're in trouble now, and sure enough, we were. Our car was set up more for longer runs, really conserved the tires good with the setup that we had, and each time we would be good as we went, 60 or 70 laps, but that wasn't what we had to go there at the end.
He gained some points, but DJ's second again at the Rock.
And we're back in victory lane. Here's Richard Petty, the car owner. He's talking to some of his PR people over there about which hat to wear. We like the blue in here. We want to congratulate you and the crew. We'll give you the Miller Lite Pit Crew Award, courtesy Miller Lite, TNN Motorsports. Great job today. Awesome race car. Things worked out at the end.
I was really doing good in the pits, wasn't I? Set up on the watch, checked them all, told them to go faster. But we got the break when they had that last caution. We was real good on brand new tires. And, as time progressed, the 88 car was a little bit better, a lot better, really, on used tires. So we got a break, and that's what it takes to win races.
That's exactly right. Now, before we leave, Richard, I want you to look at this color coordination. Look at this blue hat, the blue shirt, little blue on the jacket up here. But wait a minute, all the way down here, man, look at these blue boots. Man, that's something else.
You should have seen the bird those things came off of. He was cold that day. We've got more coming up from Rockingham right after this. Well, it's turned out to be a very nice afternoon here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway. A day late, delayed even today by rain, but we've gotten the ACDelco 400 into the books. Bobby Hamilton got the win ahead of Dale Jarrett, Ricky Craven. Jeff Gordon comes home in 4th. Dick Trickle 5th. Statistically now, all that Jeff Gordon needs to do is finish 13th or better in the Phoenix and Atlanta races, and the championship would be his. But right now, back to the garage. Let's catch up with Ricky Craven.
And Eli, a great day for Ricky Craven. Ricky, you guys brought her home in 3rd. You were really hooked up.
It was good. It was great through the middle part of the race and a little bit tight at the end, but I'm so proud of these guys. They awesome cars and awesome engines, and Andy called a great race. And I'd like to have 50 to go, or what I really like is for that caution not to have come out. But as it unfolded, we were chasing that 43, and he was just awesome on the short runs.
All right, great run. Let's go back to Eli.
All right, Steve, thank you. Let's take a look at the full field rundown for you with the margin of victory at 9/10 of a second. And there you see where Dale Earnhardt came home in 8th spot. Sterling in 9th. A good turnaround for that team. They've been struggling of late.
Yeah, but they had a good run here today. Bobby Labonte, pole sitter in 11th.
Yeah, Robert Presley, a great run. Rusty Wallace, middle of the field. Our buddy Darrell Waltrip down there in 29th. Schrader, not really a factor today, coming home in 30th. And there you see the fellows who are out of the event or in the garage for a lengthy period of time. More coming up from the Rock in a moment.
New Mobil 1 0W30. Superior protection when you start your car.
TNN Motorsports live coverage of the ACDelco 400 has been brought to you by Texaco, a world of energy. By Miller Lite, who reminds you that anything can happen at Miller time. And by the legendary Firebird Trans Am from Pontiac. Let's take a look at the NASCAR Winston Cup point standings with Phoenix and Atlanta races remaining. 125 is now the spread from 1st to 2nd. Mark Martin there. Dale Jarrett now 145 back. So again, guys, is 13th or better in the next 2 races, and the championship will be Jeff Gordon's.
Well, you just have to say the way he's running right now, other than Talladega, he's been in the top 5 or 6 in every race. So, man, it's his championship to lose now.
Next week, we will be in the Valley of the Sun, and Dick Berggren, it's always a great racetrack.
It is. It's fun to watch. It's a nice flat racetrack, very fast, always very competitive. Looking forward to having you all with us.
1:30 p.m. Eastern Time next Sunday for the NASCAR Winston Cup Series and the Duralube 500. Coming up next here on TNN, the schedule obviously adjusting because we've been here all afternoon. Joining in progress, America's Country Hits. That's next. Then Dallas at 4 o'clock. Club Dance at 5. The Dukes will be with you at 6. And then We'll be back with you at 7 o'clock. A replay of this afternoon's ACDelco 400 for the benefit of those who weren't able to be with us here this afternoon. So again, that is the schedule from the North Carolina Motor Speedway and from TNN as we take it down towards the finish today. 9/10 of a second. The margin of victory in the middle of that group there. Richard Petty, Robbie Loomis, Bobby Hamilton, Dale Inman. Very successful bunch from Petty Enterprises today.
Eli, good point. Thank Rockingham for having a great racetrack and allowing TNN to bring great races like you guys got to watch today here at the Rock.
It's been a lot of fun. We certainly are glad you've been with us all weekend long and even through yesterday's rain delay. Bobby Hamilton and Kyle Petty. High fives, rolling fives, if you will, to one another. Again, stay tuned. America's Country Hits is next, joined in progress, followed by Dallas, Club Dance, the Dukes of Hazzard at 6, then a replay of the ACDelco 400 at 7 o'clock tonight. We will see you next Sunday in Phoenix, Arizona for more NASCAR Winston Cup racing here on TNN Motorsports. For Buddy Baker and Dick Berggren, Glenn Jarrett, Matt Yoakum, Steve Burns, and for the King, Richard Petty, I'm Eli Gold. Thanks for joining us. Congratulations, Bobby Hamilton.